What's up, everybody, and welcome to All for Footy, the AFL podcast where good friends gather and gab about last week's games, this week's games, and everything in between. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify, so go please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm your host, Nathan, Mr. 9 out of 9 Norman, joined, as always, by the second best podcaster in the world, Daniel Big Daddy Raby. How are we, sir?
Mr. 9 out of 9, Nathan Milton Norman. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, no, I'm doing well.
Look, you know, they say the best ability is availability, and I'm always available to be up here for a good footy chat, so I'm...
yeah, you've always got the ability.
Yes, I'm ready to roll, mate. It was a big round of footy, wasn't it, too? I can't wait to rip into it. And also joining us, live from the Gold Coast... If 3 people having sex is a threesome, and 2 people having sex is a twosome, this man is very handsome. It's Ryan, the big wheel Fenton.
G'day, fellas. How we going, boys?
Yeah. We're doing well. Ready for another episode of the pod. And
that's it, mate. Not easy to come in tonight. We're all losers, so but we've shown up still.
Oh, we did too.
Hang on. There is one person who's not a loser tonight. He's on the ones and twos. He is more powerful than a locomotive, faster than a speeding bullet, can leap tall buildings in a single bound. It's the man of steel, Steelo.
Oh, Steelo.
G'day, everyone. Just back here getting everything done tonight. I'm the glue that holds the crew together.
Yes. Steelo the glue.
Working backstage, mate.
He's also the man of steel.
Can't see you back there, but there must be a big curtain drawn, and he's back there just tinkering with the buttons and...
stop distracting him.
Keeping all the lights on.
Couldn't he fit in the middle between you two boys on the couch?
Mate, I offered him my lap. He said, that's a hard no. And no, I can't disagree with him.
And we both lost this week, and he didn't want to sit between 2 blokes, you know.
He didn't want to be in a loser sandwich, no.
There might have been a few elbows getting slung around, so good safe move there from Steelo to sit out the back tonight, but...
Terrible.
G'day, Steelo.
Thanks, guys. You better be nice to me, or else, I can bring up a lot of things on this computer.
Please don't.
Apparently the coffee van out the back is a pretty popular spot. Mm-hmm. And being out the back, I imagine there'll be a few visits to the coffee van for Steelo tonight.
Yeah, whatever that means. All right, well,
I was gonna say just a quick thing. I had a fun Fenno fact last week, which I didn't get through to you guys. But,
oh no!
I was straight into it tonight. But who would you say the big 3 are in the AFL team wise?
Big 3. It's a good question. Sydney definitely
have to be up there. I
think you have to say Collingwood.
Yeah, you sort of do.
I think you just do have to say Collingwood, but the next one's the real interesting one, isn't it? It's
because I would have said Melbourne a week or 2 ago.
Would have said Geelong most definitely.
Would have said Geelong a week or 2 ago.
I think what they're going off the big 3 would be like support base and fan base. So they reckon that the big 3 is Collingwood, Carlton, and Essendon, right? So since the VFL AFL era, in 40 years, those 3 sides have only played finals all together at the one time in 1984, 2009, and 2011. Can this year be the year that all 3 make the finals?
Oh, it'd be huge, wouldn't it?
Possibly. That's another lot to do.
I was going to say this last week because Blues were in the 8, but now they're not.
Wind back the clock a little bit, wouldn't it? It would be just fantastic for footy. But, we'll see, won't we? Especially Carlton at the moment, they're the concerning one. I mean, we didn't see it coming, did we, a few weeks ago? I mean, they're still playing good footy, I feel, and... shout out to all the Carlton supporters out there. I know some diehard ones, some old Dandenong faithfuls that go on for Carlton their whole life and never wavered, and they still go for them week in, week out, like it's 1995. And, I feel like that they are still playing the brand of footy that's right in the window for them to be having a crack. So, remember last year when they didn't get off to a good start? And
they're bad.
So I think they hold a lot of faith this year that once they'll get it going, they've played a lot of informed sides or sides that have been, if not top, pretty much top of the ladder. when Carlton have actually played them. I know they got Giants when they were top of the ladder, Sydney when they were top of the ladder, and so Carlton, really, it's really a crossroad moment in the season again for them, isn't it? But I think they'll get through a bit, and geez, they could almost be the third best team in the comp right now if geez, one extra win along the way, and you'd probably be saying it. So
yeah, well, we'll see, because the ladder's looking pretty hectic all over the place. Seems like the only constant is Sydney, as far as I'm concerned.
They've just done a little shake-up the last few weeks with Geelong and the Giants both losing.
I'd love to be on Essendon's bandwagon. I am on Essendon. I want them to do well, but I just feel like the other shoe's going to drop eventually. Like, I don't know, because it's the same team from last year, essentially.
Yeah, they're just playing, they're playing good footy, but again, probably have played a lot of the lower half of the ladder, and it's a long season, so yes, they'll continually get tested as the year wears on.
But they've done well with every test so far. They
have played some top sides.
They have played top sides. They've played some bottom sides and just come away with it as well, which was.
I mean, North played well on the weekend, but.
No, exactly. I was a bit worried for Essendon at some point there.
I was going to say, just changing it to the Giants, they were the same as the Blues last year. They did nothing for the first half of the season, then dominated the second half, and then this year they've done well, but then lost the last three too, so they've dropped a bit as well. So pretty remarkable. But can't believe that only those three clubs have been in the finals for 3 times in 40 years, all at the same time. Can't believe it.
Well, yes, it's been a while, especially all through the early 2000s and up to the later part of where we're up to.
Well, now I think we all have to vote. Was that a fun fact? Do you reckon that was a fun fact?
Oh, it's got to be his first fun fact of the night. I give it thumbs up.
Yeah. Stilo?
Well, it's just shouted I forgot it last week.
That's thumbs up from me, guys.
Thumbs up. Got his
first thumb up of the week.
Up on the screen.
Yeah.
No,
that was a good one too.
That's too much.
It's actually quite a solid one.
Yeah, he's setting the bar for the rest of them tonight. So you better not.
The rest are no good.
All right. Well, with that, I just want to move into some selfless promotion. A little bag of Redskins, guys. Redskins, of course, changed to Red Rippers 4 years ago or so. But I've got an original Redskins bag, $5,000. Leave if you're interested. Comment in the Rumble video below, your YouTube video, probably Rumble.
Is the going rate for a bag of Redskins, actual branded, trademarked Redskins? So
yeah, you can't get them anymore.
It's not a ludicrous price. It's the price.
No, it's the price.
Who made that bag of lollies?
Allen's?
What company?
Yeah, Allen's.
It's a legit packet.
No, it's a legit Allen's. It is. It's old. Give it that. It's old, but they're Redskins. All right, they're not Red Rippers.
I was quite sceptical when I first heard.
Yeah.
But when he showed me the proof online that
on eBay?
This is the going rate for a packet.
Yeah.
So anyone out there who's just got money to just burn, if you want a packet of Redskin to eat,
throw it at me
for the rate.
Yeah. Come on, I want $5,000. Give it to me. All right. And with that bit of shameless shilling, should move on to Wheels of Fortune.
Oh, straight away.
Well, we don't want to bury it in the last half of the show, do we? We're on the top of the show.
Looking forward to this.
I suppose I better get the rules up, but at least it gives the listeners a chance to get their answers in. So
no, exactly.
Yeah, hold on. I didn't know we're getting straight into this.
Oh, but I wasn't going to put it at the end of the pod. Jeez.
Well, I thought it might have been in my final thoughts, but that's okay.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
All right, so yeah, for this year we're going to have our first competition on the pod. I'll just go through all the rules just so everyone's got an idea what's sort of going on and how it works and what happens. So,
yeah, and if we're confused about any of it, we'll ask you some questions.
That's right. So the game is the Wheel of Fortune. All right. I don't know where I came up with that, but
please call it Wheels of Fortune.
Wheels.
So it's legally distinct.
Fortunes, yep.
Wheels of Fortune.
So I'm not the best reader, so just give us a moment. But okay. There's a few rules, just like the AFL, but none of them should change. Okay. Prize will get a $100 gift voucher to the AFL shop, so you can get yourself a 2025 Guernsey, thanks to our first sponsor, Technique Carpentry. And you can see them in the bottom right corner there. Technique Carpentry, thanks for that.
Sponsors of the
it's
show.
A game for all... Pardon?
Sponsors of the show.
Yeah, sponsors of the show, thank you.
Oh, thanks,
First
heaps.
ever sponsor. It's a game for all pod and ex-pod and behind-the-scenes crew, tipping comp and all listeners. Alright, the game is basically, it's the last person standing wins. And it starts this round 11, and goes all the way to grand final day. Each week you need to select a side that you think their season is done, in brackets, put a line through them. You can only ever pick the same team once. Also, you must put your guess in before the next round starts or you will be eliminated. We will try say what team's season is over each week on the pod, if it's obvious or mathematically. If a team's season is done and you haven't picked or used them yet, you will be eliminated.
Ooh.
If all or who is around still on grand final day, the margin will come into play, and the closest will win. If the margin is the same, if the margin is the same, it will come down to who selected all the teams in the correct order. Put your answers in our group chat, or leave it in comments, YouTube and Rumble, or private text me if you have to too. Let the best person win, and go the Cats.
Yep, there we go.
So
there it is.
Every week you pick one.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, right. Well, are we going to start on the pod?
Yeah, pardon?
Are we going to start on the pod, or are we just going to put our messages through? I think we should air ours, because I've been looking forward to the first round, and I'm going to go first. I'm going to buck the trend, and most people here you would think would go with the blue and the white.
Cats?
No, not that blue and white. Another one. A hopping down the road blue and white, but I'm going to throw Richmond under the bus, and I'm going to put their season as done already, and they are my first season done in the gun.
No, fair enough. Well,
because North might end up overtaking them this year at the rate it's all looking. We're losing by 40 on the weekend. Richmond losing by 120.
Well, look, I think I might save Richmond for next week. I think this week gonna have to grab the low hanging fruit. Gonna go North Melbourne. Gonna just grab those low hanging fruits and
I was going to say
swing them overhead.
I was going to say, Daniel, before you get too excited about the game, it could be a high chance that North season could be over first. But
if you get locked up down the first 2
Richmond have only
weeks.
had the one win, and I still feel like North might get a win or two this year, and maybe get above Richmond on the ladder. Just where Richmond's at with their absolute injury toll list now, and just the way it's panning out a bit, that they might even go head to head, Richmond and North will probably beat them. So all of a sudden, very easy to think that North are going to finish bottom, but I think Richmond might pip them.
Yeah, but we could be in situations where two teams could be ineligible for the 8 in 1 week. Like their season could be over. Two teams at the same time.
Yes, but if you listen to the rules carefully, if it's a draw and you're involved at the end of the year and it goes back to a count back on the perfect ladder, and you goes back down to the last team, and true. You happen to have Richmond over North in the bottom spot, I can claim victory. So
I'm just going to say it right now: nobody's going to go the distance.
I hope it goes.
Everybody's going to be eliminated. That's what I'm thinking. That's how it's going to go. So I'm playing it safe for the first round. I'm grabbing that low hanging fruit. And I'm fucking swinging it around my head.
Alright, you go North.
I'm gonna fucking belt somebody over the head with it. So grabbing that North Melbourne fruit.
What about you, Steelo?
Is he still there? For you, mate. I've got nothing for you tonight.
What's either
He's got nothing for us. He's busy. He's busy with the tech.
Get back to me, mate.
Oh, you're just gonna save it for when you enter online.
Get back to me, mate, and seriously, all the listeners, get involved. It'll be good fun.
Alright, Fenner, are you playing along?
Just pick one quickly.
Well,
just pick North or...
Yeah, I'm going to go Kangaroos first.
Alright, cool. But you can't win. You can't legally win.
Yeah, because I'll pretty much sort of say who's out every week, so, yeah.
We'll have to back in the Roos then for my brother Caleb. We'll do it for Cal, the big dog. He needs a win. Get around him. The Roos are going to function. They're going to function well. They're going to be around for a while. They're definitely not going to be a merger.
We're picking a team that season is over.
Yeah. The Roos will be on top. Their season's definitely not over.
I reckon Reid will just choose Richmond and then Kangas next week.
No, I think I'll choose Kangas next week. Yeah, 100%. I think I'll choose Richmond next week.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
No, but it's an interesting race for the spoon when you look at it.
Look,
like
it'll
that,
start heating up. We'll be jumping on it week to week, and we'll also be filling in like, all right, who's absolutely out of the comp.
In a handful of weeks, this will get really interesting because you'll have to start putting in teams like St Kilda and Adelaide, and teams finish 13th, 14th, 12th.
Oh yeah, it's just going to rise.
Statistically, their year won't be done, but you'll have to pick them.
It's going to rise in interest. That's for sure.
It'll be great.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Good game, Wheels.
Thanks, guys. It's taken a bit to create, but hopefully it works out.
Actually, just got a late minute bit of mail here from the head office at Reid Carpets. Must have been Paddy. Give the young man a shout out and good luck to his Ironman that he's been training for in the upcoming weeks. He must be feeling generous. He's just donated $100 also to another AFL voucher. So for the winner of Wheels of Fortune,
big Wheels of Fortune,
$200 AFL voucher.
Wow,
so thanks, Paddy.
That'd easily get you a Guernsey scarf and beanie now too, I reckon, wouldn't it?
Well, it could. And Paddy, he's just been listening on a bit of live stream actually, and he just messaged me and said, "I've just got back from Reid. What did he run? He only ran 16k tonight, so just a bit of a light one." But
he might be feeling a bit dizzy.
Yeah, maybe he's just saving it. But good on him. He just messaged $100 from Reid Carpets.
From?
Well, it'd be from him. Oh, I'll go 50 with him, so we'll go 50 each.
So who's that from?
Reid Carpets.
Reid Carpets, no worries.
Yeah, no relation, of course.
And if you want to get your flooring at the moment, a new mob that's just opened up in Cheltenham, Carpet Trends.
Oh, are they giving us money?
Well, they could.
They're not giving us money.
I'll ask him.
Talk about him,
I'll ask him.
Mates.
Now that I've plugged him, Matthew has just taken over Carpet Trends in Cheltenham, corner of Nepean Highway and Sandowney Road. You know that old one on the corner with the rugs always out the front? Yeah. So, fantastic join in there. And if you want your flooring services done, pop in and see Matthew. Really happy to look after you.
All of a sudden, we've never had a real sponsor, and now we've got two in the one night.
Oh, there we go.
Well,
and a fake one. And some guy was just shouting out.
2.5.
Some Brando.
No, he might chip in. He's
not going to chip in.
If he gets a job through the pod, he'll donate $50. We'll make him.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
He won't.
That can be his arm twist. Right. So someone out there, if you need flooring, call Matthew at Carpet Trends, and then he'll donate $50 to the pod.
All right. Well done.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to last week's games, shall we, boys?
Let's.
All right. Well, it's Gold Coast versus Geelong at Teo Stadium up in Northern Territory. It was Gold Coast 26-8, 164 to Geelong 15-10, a hundo. Mr. Ryan Fenton. What's going on? What's going on at Cattery? 3 in a row.
Hey, we both tipped the Gold Coast too, didn't we, Fenno?
You tell you what, you're lucky I'm on this pod, I swear. This is getting really tough.
It is. It's getting bad.
You've probably all gone through it, so I'm just riding the wave and just dealing with it, But yeah, it was a bit of mixed emotions because, like you said, Reeves, I tipped the Suns, so I was sort of like, well, it's a win-win. Or no, it was a win-loss still, wasn't it?
That's a win-loss. Yeah.
It was hard to know what to make of it, though, wasn't it? I mean, 40-plus goals on the night, and just honestly, high scoring, end-to-end, ball just zinging up and down, and you couldn't stop them out of the middle. That was the concern, wasn't it?
Yeah, going into it, I knew, Cameron Hawkins was out, but then also Duncan came out during the week, and
but the midfield.
Yeah, there's no midfield, man, and then I saw Witts was out for the Suns too, so I'm like, they're missing their main ruckman. How's this actually going to go for them then? But it made no difference. The Suns just came out firing. That six in a row there now.
Did Matty Rao bring his towel?
He did indeed bring his towel.
He brought a big towel.
He did indeed bring his towel. He towed his guys up, unfortunately. He got so many disposals. Yeah. Probably the best amount of disposals he's got in the last 5 games, that's for sure.
You got his touches there, Stillo?
35 touches, 16 kicks, 19 handballs.
Oh, what
insane. And he hadn't gotten over 23 disposals in the past 5 weeks.
Yeah. I've got one about Matty Rao too. He's the quickest amount of games to 500 tackles. So 72 games for Matty Rao. I'll bring the towel.
Oh, he loves a good tackle.
Loves a good towel.
500 tackles. So,
that's insane.
It was a night for... they just dominated early. Lukosius just came out in the first quarter and just tore us up. It was sort of... went in motions with 3 different forwards, just absolutely smashing us. So you had Lukosius coming out in the first, then Humphreys, second to third, and then King in the last. So their forwards just smashed us, all of us. So
they were just having fun with yous. They were playing with yous. And you guys kicked 100 still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, crazy, high scoring. Bloody real high scoring game, but...
very entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, man, like you said, and Anderson tore it up for him too. You couldn't stop him. I think he had 42 touches, 2 goals, 15 score involvements as well. So he was just on fire with his mate Matty Rao, bring the towel. But yeah, the Cats just had no answer. Oh, and De Going was another laid out too for the Cats too. So missing the main back, like it just did not look like it was going to happen on the night, did it? So
no, it was.
On the Suns getting the win. Yeah. Geelong's never played there before too, but they just had the work everywhere around the footy field, mate. You couldn't stop them. So yeah, they're showing, like I said, they've got a little empire up there now. So
I just got to think. You got to think it was the climate. I think the weather was really working against you guys. Apparently, Gold Coast have been up there for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, they stayed up there a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, like. They're used to that weather. They got that thing, the ice box, when you play up in TO, where they get players off the field and they run them straight into the ice box to cool down and stuff.
Helps a lot, doesn't it? That'd be good for recovery.
Insane. But yeah, no, I'm so glad Melbourne aren't doing any home games over in TO this year and have stopped doing that, because I feel like it takes a toll on the body.
Melbourne used to sell them off, didn't they?
Yeah, you get money doing. Yeah, the AFL gives you money to have a few home games in TO Stadium, try and get some footy breaking into that crowd.
And Melbourne used to kick 6 goals when they used to go up there, and Gold Coast have gone and kicked 26 goals. So
they're used to the climate. Gold Coast, they're used to the heat. They're used to running around.
That's Gold Coast's highest ever score. Like that
Jesus.
game, the score 164. It's their highest ever score. How's that? But yeah,
they've never kicked over 200. Sad.
No, it's a bit of a head scratcher, wasn't it? Just watching it develop, and then just got away from Geelong so quickly too, and then you just knew by 3/4 time it was completely done. And they
even Stem goals kicking 3, still nothing.
Yeah, I mean, to kick 100 points, if you had said before the game Geelong go up and kick 16 goals or 15 goals and score 100 points, you think they're going to win. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what a huge result for the Gold Coast. I mean, great footy, and one of the better wins of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta say,
really
went to bed half time. I couldn't deal with it. I'm just like, no.
Enough. No, I enjoyed it all the way to the end. Honestly, just watching
you tipped Gold Coast. You tipped Gold Coast. I tipped Geelong, and I went out on a limb. And look, we will get to my tips later.
Oh, we will.
But I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, Geelong hasn't conceded a score that high against them since round 1, 1994. How's that?
Oh, fair enough.
Do you know who the team was?
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Of course I know. Why would you hit me with this trivia? Of course I know.
Melbourne on 174.
Anyway.
I've got a fun Fenno fact for the game too for you fellas. Do you want to hear it?
Alright, let's another one we're voting on. Come on.
Oh shit.
We're on 2.
Pressure here.
There's always pressure.
It's not very good for the Cats fans, but what is it? Tom Stewart's first time in his 157 games to not have taken a mark.
Wow. That is a good fun fact.
I didn't like it.
No, I give it thumbs up because wow, that's makes him a rock solid player, doesn't it? To be that many games, and he does get attention put into him these days, which means it's not like he's just out there and had a shit day. He's probably had a bloke on him all night, pulling him down and pushing him over, and only letting him get punches in. And
yeah, they're really putting work into him teams at the moment, aren't they, Reeves?
yeah, so to get through 150 games until there's a night where you can't take a mark. I mean, I probably played about 150 games for Bowie in my junior career. And
legendary career.
I would have had numerous occasions where I didn't have a mark. Occasionally spent time on the bench, occasionally came on the ground. But in between, there would have been games where I didn't take a mark. But 150 games for the big fella.
You don't get paid to play football, but you don't get paid a lot to play football.
Well, I didn't back then.
Well, you don't now either.
No, so. I did. Later in my retiring career at Moorabbin, when we had Timmy's tenner going around.
I don't know if that counts.
Remember those days, Steelo, with Timmy's tenner?
Gotta love Timmy's tenner.
Well, Timmy Rodders was the prez, and you get $10 for the best, 3 or 4 on the field.
Oh, I remember him. actually.
Yeah, for the Rezzies.
But that doesn't count. Yeah. I'm not counting that.
So I got paid a couple of times.
That doesn't count to me. All right, you weren't paid a lot of money.
No.
Anyway, not an easy month for the Caddies, like I said before it happened, and then we've still got the Giants this week too down at Geelong. So it's just it's getting tough. It's just really getting tough.
It is getting tough. I'm sorry for you guys, Ryan. Well, still, you wanted to say something before we moved on?
Oh yeah.
Somehow we've lost 3, but we're still third on the ladder.
The Cats are set to get Jeremy Cameron back next week. I'd say to versus his old side, GWS.
Yeah,
and also DeConing should be set to come back, and then Dangerfield as well is probably another way. But
they need his pace and his experience in just around the ground at the moment, don't they?
They need to get that midfield back.
But it's only a few players that you put back together, and all of a sudden they look really experienced through the core. So,
let's
the
see
system will roll on for Geelong. I think they're very confident that they're going to roll right back into good footy again very soon.
We'll see.
I think they will. I think they're... they know they were probably testing it a little, potentially resting a few, coming up with a few tactics, where if maybe they had their time again, they might just look to... Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it? I mean, you've got to look to rest a few blokes during the year. But
I feel like that a lot of clubs have put time into the Cats and the Giants because they're hot start to the season. They're trying to figure out, their game plan. Everyone's looking at it a lot harder and whatnot as well, probably.
Yeah. So it's not easy, but they'll definitely be. We'll get on to next week's game.
Let's move on from this game. I think we've spent quite enough of time on it. So let's move on.
Another Captain Sons.
To Friday night football at the SCG. It was Sydney versus Carlton. Sydney 17-15, 117 to Carlton 9-11, 65. It was Sydney by 52 points. Smacking Carlton, putting them in their place, telling them that they're trash and to lick their boot.
What they raised. They absolutely ground and pounded them. Carlton came out, kicked the first 4, and you went, jeez, here we go. Carlton, red hot, up and about in the big city of Sydney. Sydney just kicked 1 or 2, and you just knew. You just went, all right, hold your horses. They're coming back here, but got to quarter time, down by about a goal, and then they just, from there they really took control of the match, and it was the hierarchy of Sydney at the moment with Heaney. I mean, Warner just doesn't slow down, does he, the young fella? He's just absolutely killing them.
Oh, yeah.
And, the way they go through the middle at the moment with Golden and, I'm just trying to rattle them off the top of my head from watching the game. Well, Heaney was my first.
Oh, I'm bringing him up again. He's my
first point of call. No, Heaney. I mean, Heaney's just the He's probably leading in the awards at the moment, you'd reckon?
I'd say he's probably Brownlow favourite.
But one of my favourites for Sydney at the moment is Blakey. I mean, just running off the half-back. Have you got numbers there, Steelo?
Yeah, he's got numbers. Yeah, Grundy as well. Like, he's stepping up. He's a star. Like, he really didn't... It was really a bad move to go to Melbourne. Like, really, let's play next to the world's best ruckman and get overshadowed. But now, he's found his spot, and he's breaking out, and probably gonna get further in finals this year than he did in Melbourne last
year. And what a top-up ruckman to get, just to get Grundy. I mean, it's just out of control the way they've recruited him.
I had a bit of hot goss and on some game form from his mate that got dropped, Tom Hickey from the Swans, changed from Grundy.
Oh, yeah.
He actually spoke to me before the game at Auskick and said that Heaney will be tagging Cripps too. Gave me a bit of inside word.
Playing on him.
You know, at the end of the day, they had similar possessions for the game, but Heaney kicked the 3 goals to Cripper with none.
So they went head-to-head a bit, didn't they, during the game?
Yeah, they went head-to-head. And I heard a bit of hot goss that Luke Parker's getting a bit dirty that he's not getting the game too. So, thanks for that, Tom Hickey. Bit of hot information.
Oh, nice to hear, nice to hear. Well, you know, if you can't get a game, you can't get a game. You got to step up.
Well, who's at the tribunal tonight?
Parker was for the VFL.
Yes, so you're definitely not getting a game for the next few weeks. I thought, as you said, he's spewing he's not getting a game.
Well, you know, just don't hit people in the VFL.
Yes, but he's definitely got 3 minimum coming. I mean, so he's going to be out.
Yeah, it was a big bump, wasn't it?
It was a big hit, but so he's copping it. I don't think he did a lot wrong, honestly. I think it was probably the rules of the game at the moment that have led to this becoming more like he's getting 3 weeks. Yeah, the guy didn't take any evasive action and didn't see him coming when he was only moved out of his way and stood his ground at the last second, reacted to having a block. So he's a bit stiff, but it is what it is, and we'll be getting the 3 weeks or to maybe 4.
Yeah, well.
The Blues came out pretty hot in the first quarter. You know, they were only a couple of goals, like just over a couple of goals up, but they were up. But then, the Swans just took over, didn't they?
Oh, well, what? Didn't they kick the first 4 goals?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Yeah, so they're looking real hot. And
insane.
Then, you know, obviously you said him before too, Warner, but Warner would have to be probably best on ground with the 28 disposals, 3 goals, 14 score involvements, and 561 metres gained. He just tore it up.
He loves it at the moment, Warner. He's just running on top of the ground.
Yeah,
Did we get touches for
Warner, G.
Did we get touches for Blakey there, Stilo?
Yeah, Blakey had 15 touches.
15.
But a special mention goes out to James Rowbottom, who got 16 tackles.
Oh, what an effort.
Wow.
Slogging it out.
Aggressive. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
No, I love that.
The Swatties,
very disappointing for Carlton.
they're really going strength to strength, Sydney, aren't they? They're just
very disappointing for Carlton.
Do you reckon it was a bit of a reality hit for the Blues too?
Yep, no, might have been, but I don't know. Their fans are they're diehard. They are diehard. So it's hard to say. They're probably still on the we're going to win the flag bandwagon. Especially if they get one more win this week. So, you know, it could just be a hiccup. But
they're passionate supporters, aren't they?
Could be the beginning of the end for Carlton's form. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Because, it's too soon to tell. Alright, well, let's move on to the next game. It's Saturday football at the MCG. Collingwood versus Adelaide. It was Collingwood 12-6-78 to Adelaide 11-8-74. Collingwood by 4 points. Wheels, how about this one?
Well, it was an interesting game, wasn't it? Old Pendles came out in the first quarter and just bagged a couple of goals and, brought back what he's used to be like as a player, man. He tore it up in the first 10 minutes, didn't he, Pendles?
They called it his 9th best quarter statistically.
Oh, really?
Out of all these 1,200 quarters or whatever he's played.
Oof, that sounds like a fun fact.
It was his It was a Reeby fun fact, so it was an RFF.
Yeah, and we don't rate them.
Maybe it was a rare Reeby.
No, we'll talk about it after the show, shall we? We'll figure something out.
You know what Triple R.
Are you going to get the Daniel debates going, Dan?
No. It's not him. He's already flubbed Coach Watch. Right? I haven't heard of Coach Watch all year.
I brought it up last week, the week before.
Yeah, but you didn't do the sound effects.
Maybe we could have a rare Reeby relic. Because I only bring out a rare.
No, you just got to do it. Just do it. Don't ask.
No, I think maybe he has to ask. No.
But yeah, it was a pretty it was a pretty close game. Pies sort of by the end of the midway through the half, they're only a couple of goals up, but they got a bit of a lead there. But geez, wasn't it a close game for the second half? Man, I just kept watching that.
It was. Look, watching Adelaide come back was so good because you're like thinking, oh, they can do it, they can topple Collingwood, and then fuck Collingwood because nobody likes Collingwood because they won this flag last year.
Do it again,
and then
you had you had
win.
Isaac Rankin kick the goal to get the Crows in front.
No,
yeah.
What a goal! But there was the time on the board, and you
insane.
knew, didn't you? You knew that Collingwood.
It was time.
Yeah, De Goey gets that goal, gets them in front, and then
And who gets the ham? Who gets it out to him? It was the pass over by Dacos himself.
You're fucking talking.
Josh Dacos himself,
Yeah.
the maestro. I mean, can it be anyone more special to set up a play? Dacos to De Goey. You know, they just won to it. They just did it with ease.
Oh god!
I wasn't sure if you're aware of who that kick was, but
and then that corner smother was huge too. That got him the ball back, the Pies too.
Yeah.
But, and then you had along the wing, you had Isaac Rankin run about 15 metres they reckon, and they called 25 metres, and they called too far, and then they kicked it into the forward line. The Crows have been stooged again, but it was there.
No, you can't be doing that. Come on, what happened to the bounce? You got to bounce the ball, buddy.
it just felt like about the right because they've extended it a bit, and when you're running at full tilt, they've allowed a bit of credit to the runner to play as long as he's and then bang whistle. It was you felt like it was just a step perfect.
Cool. Yeah, with the decision where he ran too far, man. Rankin kicked it that hard, his buddy pulled his hammy. So he's out for 3 weeks after that big kick into the forward 50.
That'll teach him.
Well,
how unlucky the Crows been though, honestly.
Yeah, they've been scratching at some victories lately. Well, they beat Port as well, and didn't they? From memory, they won the derby.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty convincingly as well.
They just keep getting stewed.
Their best footy's ahead of them, Adelaide. I mean, they're a good list. They're well coached, and I just think, obviously, not a good start to the year, but they're definitely on an upward trend. So yeah, I think they're going to be hard to play for the rest of the year. That's for sure. I mean, if you look at a Hawthorn or someone like that, who are probably going to be pretty hard to play for the rest of the year too. I mean, Adelaide, week in, week out, whether they make the 8 or not, they're really going to have a tilt. So yeah, I mean, it was a great effort by them to get so close in the end, and geez, they gave themselves every chance, didn't they? But just missed out, and it's sort of been the story of their year. So
yeah, well,
Bloody would have had to been one of Rankin's best games, wouldn't it?
Yeah, mate. Well, I mean, we've called him on the pod. I mean, I called him last week as my favourite, and you blokes like old Cameron. So
well, I said it's because I didn't like how Rankin was arrogant coming into the side, because it's his first year in Adelaide.
Can I throw another one at you? I mean, I've actually been stewing on what my favourite one would be.
Is it connected to this game in any way?
It is. And that's what made me think of it. I was going to do it at the start, but I didn't want to butt in. So I came up with my best high-profile favourite one, and it hit me Sunday night. I mean, we haven't yet dabbled on if Nathan knows the initials HS. HR. Harley Reid from the West Coast Football Club.
What does that
have you heard of this player?
No, never.
Apparently
he was a fan of Petrarca at one point.
Would you take Harley Reid or would you take Josh Dacos?
Harley Reid.
For the future of your footy club?
Harley Reid.
I thought you were going to say Josh Gover.
Nick or Josh?
Why are you talking about Josh Dacos? Like, of course we're going to pick Harley Reid.
Of course we're going to pick... I'm in the Harley Reid boat.
Of course. Well, you put him up against Josh Dacos. Could you put him up against someone better?
Well, I mean, that's where I'm putting the witness test. I'm trying to pick probably what I rated as the two best picks you could pick in this category.
Nick Dacos?
If you were picking for Tasmania tomorrow, one player from the competition out of the league right now, who would you pick?
Are you meant to be talking about Nick Dacos or Josh?
Josh.
I don't know why he's talking about Josh. Of all players.
Firstly, Reeby looks like he's about to fall off the couch.
Armrest. You just can't see my armrest. But, it's a good armrest.
But if you're starting a new team, yeah, sure, Harley Reid would be good, but you need a veteran in there. You need some veterans in there. So maybe Harley Reid or a...
Hey, look, they're both... Josh Dacos has played 55 games. Harley Reid's played 7.
Harley Reid or a Petrarca?
Who would you pick?
Harley Reid or a Petrarca?
I'd pick Harley Reid easily over Petrarca.
Yeah, but the Daniel debate.
Yeah, it's just, it just popped into my head, you know? I just thought of it.
You sure? Like, Harley Reid for a new club, it's sort of like, well, hang on, you need a veteran there.
Yeah, but Dacos isn't a veteran.
Oh, what do you mean? I said Petrarca.
I'll pick Reid, mate.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, I'd pick Reid over Dacos for sure. But I wouldn't pick him over Petrarca.
Harley Reid burnt Petrarca.
Harley Reid's still a boy.
I can't wait till we get to the game.
Harley Reid is still a child.
Can you throw to me when we do Melbourne West Coast?
Is Bruce going to be able to fade off this week?
No, I'm unable to this week, unfortunately, on the couch. It's unfortunate. That's how it is. All right, well, with that...
Anything else about the game?
I'm done. I'm moving on. Does anybody else need to say something?
No, just go Pies, and what a win again in a close one. Do you know the last 4 games have been by...
Less than a goal?
5 points, 2 points, 1 point, and now 4 points. So combined total of about 12 points.
All under a goal, all Collingwood victories.
Just some shout-outs to...
another Reeby Rare.
No, Steelo.
I just want some shout-outs. Thoughts go out to Isaac Rankin. He suffered his hamstring injury against the Pies, and he's going to miss 3 weeks.
Oh, complex hammy.
Just for Nick Dacos, getting 40 touches again for the 5th time in his career.
He's ripping it up, and he's talking about Josh Dacos. Jesus fuck.
And the shout out also to DeGoey. Good shout out there, Steeler.
Yeah, no, good one.
Shout out to DeGoey. I mean, he obviously kicked the goal, and he's now out for... So he had the injury, apparently suffered it during the 3rd quarter, what... So he had a groin before and then came back, and now I believe he's hurt.
Yeah?
Maybe more of like an abductor injury, I believe it is.
An abductor?
Yeah. Where would the abductor be, Mr. Wheels?
I don't know. I've never heard of an abductor before.
I believe.
Abdominal?
I think it's still all around the groin sort of area.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound good.
Apparently it's a new injury though, the club's saying, but... So yeah, he's out definitely for a few weeks, and but great effort by him. Soldiered through, got the winning goal for the boys. Came back from being injured, gone out injured again, and just what a trooper to go.
Just a quick thing with the Pies. Would you say that Pendlebury's the GOAT of Collingwood?
I didn't even touch on the great man. I mean,
yeah, he's probably their best player at this point.
Yeah, he's played 393 games.
But Collingwood's a team full of stars.
Yeah, he's coming up 400. But Pendles, I mean, doesn't he almost stand alone? I mean, you put a few of them up there from the modern time, like probably Buckley, Swan, Pendlebury. You know, you're looking at probably some of the top dogs there. Yeah, like he's comfortably in that bracket. I mean, it's not like he's...
Yeah, but you've had
a great career.
You've also got Elliott running around.
Yeah, but these guys...
You've got DeGoey. No, he doesn't
This guy's won 2 premierships at North Smith Medal.
Nick Dacos. Like, they've got a star-studded cast, really.
Yeah, Pendles. I mean, at the moment, all the talk is about his future and how he wants to get into coaching. But he's going to go on to play 400 plus AFL games, and it doesn't matter. Period. Done. You're a legend. You're just immortal. You're 400 games of league footy. Like, hats off to the great man.
He's a club legend, at least.
He's won the 2 flags and the Norm Smith medal as well.
He's won it all. I mean, he's won all Australians.
Countless amount of best and fairest.
Yeah. Hasn't won the Charlie and been a midfielder all these years. Would have polled a lot of votes too, Pendles, I reckon. But he's probably played in sides with a lot of great players. I mean, Swanee, didn't he rack up a lot of votes during Pendles' career? And Daisy Thomas, and obviously Elliott, Nathan's favourite player. So...
What, Uze?
Oh, I mean, Uze was on the other list, but he was just getting votes for fun, Uze.
Alright, well, let's move on. Been talking about this game for long enough.
It was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. Let's move on to a alright game. It was Saturday afternoon football at the NG Stadium. It was GWS versus the Doggies. GWS 6-7-43. The Doggies 8-22-70. fuck, that 22 behinds really kills it, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Wheels?
Yeah, it does. I thought you might have thrown this game to Reedy because I just did the last game, but that's all right.
He likes your updates on the games.
Hey, look, I miscued. All right, deal with it.
That's all right. I'll make it short then. I couldn't believe that the first quarter, the Dogs was 0-5, hadn't even kicked a goal at this stage by the first quarter. Couldn't believe it. And then by the end of the game, with that scoreboard, they hit the post 7 times as well. So how's that?
Yeah, that is insane. That's an insane amount of posters. You don't want to be hitting them.
Oh, man, seriously.
Jesus.
But yeah, and then you had Callum Ward. He's just coming off his 300th game last week, kicking the ball the wrong way to Riley West. Riley West kicks a goal from it. Come on, Wardy. You're not playing against your old side anymore for the Doggies anymore, mate.
Hey, look, when they call for it, and you've heard them call for it before and kick it to them, hey, it's hard to forget. All right?
That was shocking, but by the end of it, man, the Dogs' defense game just won them the game from the whole game. Their defense tore it up, and
especially Ed Richards. Ed Richards was huge, wasn't he?
Just took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say without libering the side, Ed Richards has totally changed the way he's playing his game and helping the side out. There you go. How's that?
No, definitely. It was noticeable on the night. I mean, just watching along. You just sort of could tell. Well, what Surf and Sammy's 30th actually up at the Urban Ground in Moorgate.
The All for Footy meet-up.
Yeah, the All for Footy meet-up it was. Surf and Sammy just decided to swing along with their birthday for a while.
There was autograph signings. It was great. Thank you to everybody that turned out.
Yeah, we were there for a couple of hours hanging out. The security out the front did a great job keeping the crowds at bay.
Yeah, well, Rick had his own security, of course, because he's the man. Thankfully, he wasn't there for long, so the crowd dispersed quickly after he left. But
Ed Richards, you could just tell watching him on the night with that hair, just running through the crowd. It was fun to watch. And Darcy again, kicking a couple up forward and just a real presence at the moment. Isn't he, the big fella?
Yeah, he's doing real well. There's a lot of talks that they reckon like, if it wasn't for Harley Reid, he'd probably be winning the Rising Star. But I was going to say to you guys, do you think the Rising Star should really be eligible in their third season of footy?
What does it go up to at the moment?
Does it go up to third season?
Well, second. I'm not sure. I think it could be the amount of games you play.
Oh, okay.
It's only up to second year, isn't it?
I thought it should just be your first year. But
he's third year. He's third year.
I don't know how it works, honestly. I must admit. Maybe it is just games played, like 20. Because he hasn't played a lot of games. Can we check how many games Darcy's played there, Mr. Steele?
Well, just know to be eligible for the Rising Star, the nominated player must have played no more than 10 AFL games and be under 21 on the 1st of January.
Bam! Of the
so
year.
Can we check how many games Darcy's played? If you just quickly rip into that one for us.
Yeah, well, I was talking about Toby Green, Jesse Hogan, 3 goals straight each. And, their kicking was on point.
I was going to say, just with Darcy, I think the first year he did his knee. So he didn't play the whole year.
Because he hasn't played a lot of games, and he played VFL for a bit.
If he's under 21, he hasn't,
So is it 10 game? Is it before you get selected? 10. It can't be 10 games, because what about if it's round 14? How do they pick a... Oh, there could be still players.
Yeah, there could be players that came in the previous year.
Yeah. Yep.
So what if... Oh, shit. So if you don't get picked in your first 10...
I just thought, because there's talks about it, and I'm like, well, he's been in the system 3 years, come on. But it's obviously the rules there, so...
Anyway, it's
what it is, but
so who'd you say did good for the game, Nathan?
Toby Green, Jesse Hogan, 3 goals straight each.
What about the Doggies players? Give the Doggies.
Yeah, you got like 1 goal for to Rye West, and Darcy 2, Harms 2 goals 2. He's flourishing a bit under his new club.
I mean, Bailey Dale and Duray and a few of the guys down back for the day really stepped up. I think they really helped out. It was a real scrap of an affair towards the end of the game, and the Dogs probably had the run of the game, kicking 8 goals, 22. But the Giants,
sure.
I just think the Dogs' defence won this game in the end. And
well, the Doggies should have belted them by more. Like really, when you look at how many behinds they kicked. Like,
really interesting to see the Giants fall off it. I know.
Yeah, it's really GWS all of a sudden. They burned brightly
I don't know
at the beginning of the year, and now they've fallen off.
Great win for the doggies, though, isn't it? Great win for the dogs. Gets their season back on track. All the talk about everyone getting fired's gone. Like, what a win for them.
What a win. Rick will be very happy. Well, Rick is always happy. Never known a happier guy.
Yeah, especially when his team's up and about with a big win.
Especially when his team's up and about with a big win, yes.
Yeah, go the doggies.
Go the doggies. Surprising a lot of people. But
And-
some people tipped him.
And the Kangas, Rezzies on the weekend, got a win.
Congratulations. Rick,
So
of
Rick-
course, ripping it up.
So Rick gets the W and the W on the same afternoon. I mean, can it be any better of a day?
Of course.
Haven't seen him since.
I think he'll be on next week. I think we'll get him on next week. I think it's been too long. I'm
Come on,
sure
Rick.
he's missing it. He's missing it at this point. All right. Well, with that,
And have we got an update there,
we got
Stuart?
updates still.
Yeah, so Sam Darcy, he's played 16 games, but yeah, he's been nominated. So as long as you've played less than 10 games, once you get
You can get nominated,
then
yeah.
you're eligible.
So now he just plays on. Yeah.
And he's been in the system 3 years, yeah?
Yeah, he's
Debut,
definitely
2020.
2021,
Yeah.
he was drafted.
So he's turning 22 this year, yeah.
But what's his debut?
His debut was round 21, 2022.
Yeah, 'cause
22?
he got injured that whole year.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it. All right. Well, let's move on to the next game. This is why I gave the last one to you, Ryan. It was St Kilda versus Flagmantle at Marvel Stadium. It was St Kilda 8-7-55. Flagmantle 9-18-72. Flagmantle by 17 points. Daniel.
No.
All right, Vanna, do you have anything to say to that?
I don't know if my camera froze or he didn't say anything.
That's the fog. You can't see through the fog. Yes, look.
Just put a towel over him.
I heard the siren.
That would do the trick. If I was out in the bay in a little kayak with a towel over my head, listening to a little radio, listening to us lose by 17 points, which was almost the perfect prediction from one of our viewers, one of our regular listeners, listening from abroad, had us by 16. Had Freo by 16. But obviously they got up by 17. But
Who was that?
a viewer, one of our viewers listening from abroad. Real great, real consistent viewer. One of our top fans.
We've got a few.
If it's Fabs, I'm giving a shout out to Fabs too.
I had you bust my secret.
Yeah, come on, mate. Don't dox him.
Yeah, look, the great man was pretty excited. They had a good win.
It should be.
But, just the game was almost played Freo winning by 3 goals. It just felt like that was the vibe of the night, wasn't it? They were just up by a couple of goals.
Terrible.
We got back to even in the third quarter there, and then they just pushed ahead by a couple of goals. We didn't play bad footy.
I got to admit though, when I saw Michael Frederick get knocked out, I thought that might have changed the game a bit for the Saints though.
Yeah, look, it was definitely probably a momentum halter for them. But I think Freo have turned a corner a bit where they're definitely just holding in the moments a bit. They're not getting scored against easily, and they're just bunkering down in games, finding a way to get 1 or 2 late in quarters. Simple things, simple tactics, playing the game well, using the time, not looking to score massively in games when they don't have to. This one they didn't have to. And they just always, to me, look like they were going to win. And it pains me to say, but I tipped them. So I just, it just felt like that was the perfect scenario, a 17-point victory to the Dockers. So good effort by the Saints. Dockers are worthy of being 8th this year, I feel. They're about 8th.
Battle in the ruck. It was a good battle between the two ruckmen, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good game. Don't get me wrong about the Saints. I think we're still showing good signs. Few injuries here and there with just definitely probably a real another forward short and a mid short. I just think once we can top up a bit more in the next year.
Just struggled with your efficiency inside 50, I thought.
Yeah, we're just not efficient. It's definitely a big stayer for us. So little tokens, but look, good game of footy.
Well, before I move on, how did Max King go?
He was slightly better. I believe he kicked 1 goal 2.
He kicked 0 goals 1.
0 goals 1. Oh, I thought I saw him kick 1. So
the Better King won that round again.
Again, he's winning every round, isn't he? But
it's looking tough. Tough. Sorry to say.
Yeah, look, I don't have a lot more defences for the boys, but it's tough to watch at the moment. It's all of a sudden, in our little window where we were meant to win 3 out of 3 to rejuvenate the season, we went 1 and 2. So it's not quite cutting the mustard,
best, unfortunately.
Yeah,
well, unfortunately, I backed St Kilda and it fucked me in the ass.
Me too.
So, I support my good friend, and then he doesn't even back St Kilda in the first place. So, I back my good friend you with Geelong as well.
Being the professional tipper I am, you know what's funny about all this? The irony to it all is, I tipped Melbourne this week. You guys fucked me.
Everybody tips Melbourne.
I think a lot of people would have.
But I didn't even tip my own team. I didn't even tip Wills's team. Like, I jumped off every friend train.
Yeah, you did. And it cost you dearly.
I mean, at least Rowan Marshall played well.
Oh, man, Rowan Marshall's my favourite player at the moment. I've got his wobblehead on my lounge room table. And
it wobbles so much.
It does, because he's constantly just pushing for good effort. Rowan Marshall, never stopping in the contest. A few weeks ago, we thought he was out for the rest of the year when he hurt his knee. And here he is soldiering on and just standing up week in, week out, taking... And Jackson on the weekend, I heard him actually say after the match how much he enjoyed that contest, and he rated Marshall as one of the better ruckmans. And it was great to just go head-to-head.
Yeah.
And
two titans clashing, so to speak.
Yeah, but he really enjoyed their contest. But the Dockers just looking good.
Yeah, flag mantle, running around, flagging it up.
It's really hard to know where the Dockers stand, isn't it?
It is. I still don't think they're going to make the 8th.
They're either 8th or 9th to me.
I don't think they're going to.
They could be 9th. They could be 8th. Don't see them being 7th. Don't think they'll go down to 10th. I mean, they could go to 10th.
I was just going to say, Reeves, with the start of last year with the Saints, no one really gave them any hope, did they?
No,
when
not at all.
First started.
No, and this year we got given a lot of hope, and we're meant to make the 8.
Yeah. So that was last year, and then they did make the 8, and maybe they did high achievement that last year. But I mentioned a few times in our group chat with the Saints, how many times are these guys not going to kick more than 10 goals plus a game? Hey.
Oh, it's becoming glaring now.
Yeah, so with this year, I did a bit of research during the weekend. So this year, with the Saints, with the game style they're playing, there's only been, four times. So this year, the low-scoring Saints have kicked 10-plus goals only 4 times this season. Out of 10 games. So it's obviously they're still continuing with that game style, obviously from last year and this year. So maybe Ross needs to mix it up a bit. The Saints have heaps of runners in their team, man. They should be scoring more than that, like more than 10 goals a game. Like, come on, Saints. Yeah. And I was just also looking as well. I'm like, the Saints have won 3 games. Who have they actually beaten? Do you know?
They beat Collingwood.
Yep.
They beat
Collingwood.
Maybe Adelaide? Or the Gold Coast? No, we haven't played Gold Coast yet.
With the 3
North,
teams you beat,
North Melbourne.
Yep.
And
the other game was in Adelaide. Who'd you play?
Richmond.
Yeah, so when you think about the Saints, they got the Pies in round 2, the great win, but the Pies were obviously hungover as Geelong was in 23.
Yeah.
And the other 2 wins is only Richmond and North, and look where they're sitting on the ladder.
To me, it all started against Essendon. We were up, playing good footy, had our mojo, we're confident we're going to make the 8 this year. We lost in the last 5 minutes of that game, and then ever since then, it just hasn't felt the same. They haven't played with the same ticker. There hasn't been a lot of belief. We haven't scored heavily in patches like we used to. Even if we're down, we used to score heavily in patches. So yeah, we're ever since that Essendon game, really rocked our mojo.
You haven't been absolutely smashed, except for by doggies, like that 10 goals. But every other game, it has been pretty close. Like this 17 points, the second biggest margin.
Yeah, but let's mention Freo for a minute too. I mean, how's some of their players at the moment? I mean, just their midfield, the way that they're just ticking along, and I just feel like Freo go very under the radar, don't they? I mean...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but they're still not that good.
How are they still not that good? What do you...
Well, they've lost a lot.
I was just going to say, with the Saints, they got time to change it around and, really start playing some good footy, though.
Ryan's one of my favourites for Freo at the moment. I mean, obviously Sarong and Brayshaw get a lot of high
Sarong's
praise.
getting a lot of disposals.
Tracy as well. I mean, he didn't have a huge day, but he obviously did his bit. But yeah, I mean, Freo, it was a good opposition for Saints to test it out. And
good for game for Freo, considering they travelled as well.
Jai Amos, 2 goals, 5. Come on, mate. Straighten up a bit.
Good game of footy, anyway.
Still 7 shots on
I
goal,
won't
but
talk
still
about it anymore.
straighten it up. Yeah, well, I want to talk about it more, but we got to have
turn it
one.
around.
Sorry?
I said I just hope the Saints can turn it around anyway.
Let's see. Well, I think we all hope that.
Tell you who probably didn't enjoy it would have been Sammy Fisher.
I thought you didn't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah. I thought we were going to move on to the next game.
Probably watched his first
from behind bars.
Probably watched his first game from behind bars. The young man. 3 years of watching Saints games from behind bars, and there's his first loss, so can etch it up.
Yeah, well, he probably is not having a good weekend. Probably not.
Good play,
Alright,
Fish.
let's move on to the next game. It was Saturday night football at the Gabba. It was Brisbane 26-7, 163 to Richmond 6-8, 44. Brisbane by 119 points. Wheels, this was up your end. What did you reckon?
Don't want to throw to Steelo?
Steelo's... he doesn't want to talk.
Just going to say, Steelo would be pretty proud of this game, but do we even need to talk about this game?
Can we get a comment? Steelo?
Oh, absolutely smashed them.
Yeah.
That's what serves you right, Tigers, for beating us in the past up at the Gabba, so cop that.
Well, that's it. There's a lot of memories in that game.
Charlie Cameron, 5 goals.
Just before Fenno gets into it.
Speaking about memories, Reeby, when the game finished, I looked at the score. I'm like, where do I recognise this score from?
Wait,
and I'm like,
let me see the score. Hold on. Let me see if I remember. What have we got? 163.
I just read him out. I can't believe he didn't read him. I just told him the scores.
So wait, was it the same as... No, 164, 163.
44.
Are you talking about a grand final from recent history, or...?
It's the same as the 07 granny, isn't it?
I knew we would never forget the 07 granny. Here we go. Wow.
I looked at that, I'm like, where do I recognise this score? It's not the same with the behinds, but the actual score's the same.
Yeah.
I was like, I recognise this. This looks familiar. But what an absolute smashing. It was pretty hard to watch, but I was just cheering on for Steelo and the Lions.
Hey, look, dark days for Richmond. Real dark days.
Brizzy are the real dark horse at the moment of the competition, because their good is just fantastic, scintillating, and then it's just their bad that's obviously dropping off the planet a little bit with badness when it's bad. So
yeah,
the badness is bad when it's bad.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how to describe it any worse, but it's just...
I was just going to say, there's a good little player with some blonde hair running around in the forward line. His name's Kai Longhand, I think it is. He kicked 5 goals, career high, and got the Rising Star Award for the week too.
Yes, he did, the young fella.
Congratulations.
Real exuberant young player, isn't he? And he really lights it up when he's around the ball. And exciting to watch the young fella, isn't he?
Absolutely. Well, look, Richmond are trash, and I don't like Richmond, so I'm happy with this.
More injuries too.
Oh, Kyle Long.
Take that, Richmond. Down at the bottom.
Dane Zorko's torn it up. He needs to sign another couple of years on his contract. Hey, Steelo.
Yeah,
he's dominating at the moment.
Yeah, you want him in there.
Put the leather boys in there.
It's interesting with some of the Richmond players at the moment. I mean, I think where they're at is just... they're not calling it a rebuild yet, because they obviously have used 36 players this year on the list. When you compare that to Sydney, who are at 28, you just start to wonder, if injuries takes a toll as well for their bad performance. So it's not just them tinkering and losing the plot. Because
Uze's got no chance with how many players he has to pick.
To have used that many players this year on your list, which is unforced, that's not by choice.
Yeah.
And you just wonder, but at the moment, I feel like there's been a lot of rumblings, and I've been doing a lot of close listening, that Brendan Gale's no fool, and I feel like he realises that there's a handful of players on their list that are worth a bit of value, and at the moment they could, before the Tassie draft comes in, look to try and really cash in and get maybe 3 to 4 picks in the first round pick in the next year or two. So I feel like it's where they're at quickly. And a rebuild, maybe with a Lynch, Lynch is 31 with a lot of niggles, and a Dusty and Bolton and these guys, and obviously Short as well, been from WA originally. So there's a bit of value to be had there for Richmond as well, if they're not in the window at the moment. And it's a really interesting watch on the way they go in the next year with with this space. So.
It's crazy where they're sitting on the ladder and they only won a grand final a couple of years back, isn't it? Like 3-4 years ago. Crazy, isn't it?
Well, it's longer than that, wasn't it?
Well, it was
2020.
2020. Oh, okay.
Because Melbourne won the year after.
Okay, all right. Well, I only started caring about football when Melbourne won the flag.
Everything else before that is just irrelevant.
It's a hazy mess, all right? Melbourne were trash. Alright, well, I think we're done with that nothing burger of a game where Brisbane just trampled over the line. Tigers and
good effort. Good effort from Brisbane though. Like, they've got a lot of injuries themselves, and they've just flexed their muscles against the Tigers. Like, great, good win.
I think what Nathan is saying is it took for the game to lose control and a world pandemic for Melbourne to actually have a fair chance at actually being even in this competition.
Didn't say that at all. Anyway, Steeler, would you like to add anything before we move on?
Go the Lions.
Go Lions. Go Lions.
Go Lions. That was a good win. It's biggest win for the year. They needed it. Big kill.
Moving on. Alright, it is Sunday football at Marvel Stadium. It's Essendon versus North Melbourne. Essendon 16-10, 106. North Melbourne 10-6, 66. It was Essendon by 40 points. And boys, I do have a comment on our YouTube from a fan.
We have a fan?
Yeah, we have a number of fans.
Oh, get it, too.
So, it's actually Julian Slavkovic, he's up there with the tips.
My arch
He says,
nemesis.
YouTube isn't social media. Come on, man.
I hate this guy.
North Melbourne, Essendon players. Well, the North Melbourne BNF is named after an Essendon player, Sid Barker, and the only other one I could think of is Ricky Olerenshaw.
Oh, Ricky Olerenshaw.
I'm sure there's a few more. LDU probably in the next year or two.
Yeah, I was thinking there hasn't been many go swap clubs, those two clubs. I was trying to think of it too during the week.
Not over the years, was there? No.
And we got the Mackay when we finished recording too. But there's not many, is there? Interesting. Thanks for the reply back too, Julian, because I think I asked the question on the comments as well, didn't I?
Oh yeah, was that a response to Julian for your question about Bombers and Roos players swapping teams? We also thought of Ben McKay once we stopped recording. Yes.
Thanks, Julian.
Thank you for the response. Community's going wild. All right.
I wonder if Julian will put in his selection for the Wheels of Fortune.
I'm sure he will.
On YouTube, or if he'll use Facebook, or if he'll use Rumble, or if he'll use Spotify, because
or Twitter.
I mean, he's such a he's in all those spaces. Like, what do you call it again?
He's not in any of those
he's
spaces.
Such a, because I don't know again. What is it? Social media bug that he is.
He has YouTube. That's it.
I believe maybe he'll post it on all of them to be sure that we find his answer.
Any of those? What are you talking about? He doesn't have Facebook.
I mean, being our biggest online fan that he is, the social media buff that he is, my arch nemesis number one.
I reckon Julian might have been shitting himself a bit by half time on that game, the first half.
Yeah, well,
wow, wasn't
I
he?
shit myself a little bit.
I wanted the tip. Do you know I shat myself? Do you know I shat myself on every game? And I didn't expect that on a Sunday. Like,
no, it was tough.
And like Jai had a good day, and there I was shitting myself all day.
But yeah,
it was my little one's second birthday, and I had to keep checking my phone the whole day.
What, not your pants? Or...
So I only dropped him twice.
Oh boy, how wouldn't it? I mean, what was the score at halftime? Can we just get a
Oh, it was 7 goals, 5 to 6 goals, 4.
9 points.
Yeah, so it was right in it. And you feel like
7.
You feel like in these sort of games, when it's that close, that the team that's not meant to be doing well, they get some up and about them because, they just got to be in it, and they get that sniff of leather, and all of a sudden they're in the game. And Essendon, to their credit, the third quarter to come out and kick, what was it? It was 8 goals, and it was just incredible footy from Essendon. And the likes of Stringer really lighting it up in there, and Peter Wright, same time, jinx on that. I mean, did he stand up tall?
Bruce's mate Peter Wright kicked 4 goals, didn't he?
Yeah, well, my mate. Yeah, look, I was critical of him at some point, but
I think he kicked 3 of them in the third quarter, and he just had a huge
4 goals against North Melbourne. You should kick 4 goals.
Yeah, but when they needed him to stand up, because it was on, and credit to North for, I'd almost call it a 4-quarter performance, even though they got steamrolled in the third quarter. They sort of, they really pushed, and even in kicking 2 goals to themselves in the quarter, but even then into the last quarter to win the quarter, just to show that little bit of fight again, where they'd won a previous quarter in the game, so they won 2 of the 4 quarters, and they're the stepping stones. So
I say it every week. They normally die on the arse after the first quarter, and this one they actually played half a game. So.
And it'd be interesting to see how their form stacks up now with baby steps. I mean, soon they might progress into 3 good quarters if they're putting 2 out here. And
I heard
Essendon a good side.
I heard Parrish won't be playing this week too. He got injured.
Yeah, didn't look good. What was the injury?
No, I didn't hear. I just heard. I didn't know he got injured. I just heard he's out for next week for something. Still, I might be able to find it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Calf tightness, I think.
Calf tightness.
Yeah, there it is, calf tightness.
So he's out with calf soreness.
Yeah, I didn't think it was anything obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, calf tightness. Is that like a complex hammy?
Could be, actually, Spot, after a big win last week too. I mean, they might just be
big celebrations.
I was always interested to hear De Goey was out with another complex injury this week. I thought, geez, after the match-winning goal and a nice big night, and now the doctor's advised that he might have to rest for a few weeks.
Had a bit of medicine, you reckon?
I wouldn't say that. He's just got a complicated injury.
Yeah. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
LDU played great too. 27 touches,
2 goals,
couple of
27 touches.
Yeah, LDU always plays well.
There's a lot of talk that the Sainers are eyeing him off too. So maybe he's trying to just impress them at the moment, I think.
Yeah, well, he's probably one of the only few players we could attract because, I mean, in all seriousness, who'd want to go to St Kilda with their game style at the moment? Maybe a North player that might be better who we could attract.
Maybe he's coming to the Bombers. LDU.
But I mean, Saints, maybe we could attract him. But
I don't think the Saints could attract fly to shit at this point.
Do you reckon Sheasel got some Brownlow votes on the weekend?
Sheasel played very well, didn't he? How many touches there? You got him in for him?
He got
32 touches.
He got the most touches, but he didn't even get in the coaches' votes.
Yeah, so what was he doing with the ball? His disposal efficiency was all right, but yeah.
I've got a feeling
the coaches didn't rate him.
9 marks as well. So he's obviously getting a lot of uncontested possession. How many contested possessions there, Steelo?
7 or 8.
I haven't got that one for you.
So, but it's alright. I mean, someone's got to get the ball as well on the outside.
Also, too, are people just used to him getting the ball as well?
Yeah, but that's alright.
He's just playing an average game. He's just getting the ball, handballing it around.
But if he's using it, he's still had 4 tackles, so he's in there, and he's probably working both ways, filling the space, and when he can get the easy kicks because he's working hard to get to the space.
Plus he's playing.
So it does work a bit that way in the lower ranked sides where there's a lot of easy possessions on offer.
Yeah.
So if he's obviously working hard to get to the spaces to keep the ball moving, you can read into it both ways a bit, but I wouldn't knock numbers. I think numbers are still always proves work rate.
Yeah.
Bit of a quiet game for Larky, though, only kicking the 1 goal as well.
I think there's a lot of up in North in the next month. I think they'll maybe get close to a win. Just a lot of up. I think they're showing up signs, not down signs. Like maybe there's just a small upside. As in, if we're talking minimal steps here, but obviously, it was a good effort. I was impressed with the effort. That was it.
No, I wasn't impressed with that effort. Essendon just trounced them.
But I predicted 100 points pre-game, so...
Fair enough. But Essendon have been handily getting their wins. They haven't been, flashily getting many wins. And,
they did what they had to.
Still 40 points. As I said, 36 goals is my threshold. Anything over that is a thrashing as far as I'm concerned.
Is that because of what Geelong did to Melbourne down at Cardinia Park in 2000?
That was 200 points. Fuck that. No, this is a very simple...
Is that always set your bar?
Simple bar. So when I go, 37 points, they got smashed. It's like, no, they didn't. So that's my bar. Where the fuck's your bar? And nobody ever has an answer 45, below or above. Nobody ever has an actual vague area. Fucking grow a spine, take a stand, put a line.
29. Yeah, I feel like 29's my line because it's 1 point off 5 goals. If you lose by 29, you're it wasn't bad. If you lose by 31, you're starting to enter 5+ goals.
So you'd call that a smashing?
So 29. 29.5.
Fair enough. Wheels, you got one?
Well, my team doesn't normally lose much, so I haven't put any thought into this, to be honest.
Doesn't matter about your team losing. Jesus.
When you guys lose, you lose big.
What is the thrashing? Where's the line? Come on.
I think 100 points is pretty bad.
Yeah, no shit. So 99 points isn't a thrashing.
No, I don't know. Yeah, you never like to see 10 goals, I think.
60 up?
Yeah.
60 up, so 59 points isn't a smashing. That's a smashing in my book. But yeah.
Where do you start and stop?
Sorry?
I said, where do you start and stop?
That's what I'm asking you.
Alright, 40 then.
40?
40's good.
Yeah,
39.5. Because the tab chose that.
Look, I can understand that. Big win, little win.
They all sound bad.
It is a good line for a flogging, isn't it? 39.5.
A loss is a loss. What are we talking about here?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? That's it. It's 39.5. That's the forever flogging or under.
36 plus for me. That's my line.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's move on to the next game. What a game this was.
Now, can we go back to our talking point?
What's talking point?
36 point. So you're saying 36.
Yeah, that's my line.
39.5. I mean, it's a little bit more. That's a good line.
Are you trying to convince me to change my answer? I've got my answer.
No, we can move on now. It was a good... I enjoyed the talking point. It was good.
Talking about floggings, I wasn't too impressed going to work on the Friday after the Cats lost too. I haven't had to do that for a long time.
Yeah, you don't like Thursday night football.
Welcome to that.
So yeah, no, that was tough last week.
Shocking.
It was tough this week as well. So, all right,
how'd the game go?
Moving on to the next game. It was Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn. It was Port Adelaide 11-14, 80 to Hawthorn 12-7, 79. Port Adelaide by 1 point. Jesus, this was insane. And I do have a question from YouTube to start this one off. A comment.
Yep.
Oh yeah? Ha ha ha, sucked in Hawks. Wasn't that a marvellous finish? Now, wasn't that a goddamn marvellous finish, Reedy?
It was quite a marvellous finish. I mean, it was... Who was the player again that got his boot onto the ball? Might have been Burn Jones. That was the one. And
the goal kicker.
Yeah, I mean, Hawthorn were on 79 early in the last quarter. They just couldn't score. And, it really hurt them because I think, they were on 78 at three-quarter time. So they just were stuck and they obviously weren't trying to score. You could tell the commentators were onto it and everyone was pointing it out. And that stat proves it. I mean, they've ended up scoring 1 point in the last quarter. And I really think it was the detriment of the way they lost the game. I mean, if you just kept the game in neutral territory for one more quarter... You had a 5-goal lead coming into the last quarter. Surely you kick 1 to 2 goals and you still hold off. Then they need 7. But so great work by Port Adelaide to reel them in. Probably bad coaching by Hawthorn in the end to just get overrun, I feel. It was the way I saw it. It was just the way I saw it.
Why would Sam Mitchell put bloody Hardwick down back after he's kicked 5 goals in the game?
Oh, it was head-scratching stuff, wasn't it? Obviously, they had no one else to throw back, and he is a backman for him. So he did comment after and say, we felt like we got our value out of him, and now we wanted to go back to our plan A. And their plan A was that he plays back. So, in all seriousness, hats off to him for making the move, because most people go, he's kick 5, leave him there. He thought he got his value out of him. It's worked. I was only going to put him up there for a bit. We need him back there, so he had to put him back. So I
kicked 5.
No, but it's hard as a coach because he's made a call and look, it's bad for him. The forwards.
The forwards running hot. Do you just leave it where it is?
Well, I'm saying it's easy to say, but he mightn't have kicked another one anyway because the forwards in the end for the rest of the game. I mean, they weren't getting a lot of ball down there. So it wasn't his fault now down back. I mean...
Yeah, you can't blame him, man. Like, at the end of the day, Sam Mitchell should have tagged Butters in the last quarter too.
What an interesting game, though, wasn't it? And Butters having, 12 disposals in the last quarter?
Yeah, he had, in the last quarter alone, he had 17 disposals, 7 contested,
17.
and 5 clearances.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, he was on a multi of mine to get the most disposals.
And did he?
Well, yeah, he did.
Yeah, nice.
But I didn't get the multi. God damn it, I'm so close every week now. But yeah, hell of a game.
If someone's running that hot, you got to tag them.
Yeah. Horn Francis also just having, what a game. 2 goals, 27 disposals, 15 contested possessions. Like, alright, fair enough, he didn't do too well with his ball usage, but he's getting it. He got a couple of goals. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Houston as well. I mean, he was huge on the night. I mean, the way he got him back into it, I reckon, single-handedly in that last quarter as well. What was his touches there on the night, Steelo?
22. Yeah, 22 touches.
22.
3 goals.
Yeah,
and 10 tackles.
Yeah, and the 10 tackles, I reckon. But the 3 goals. So, he really chipped in as well, Houston. And it was a good game to watch on a Sunday evening.
I can't believe how much the Hawks were in that whole game, man. They were leading for like the whole game, the Hawks. They were leading the whole game to a minute.
Mate, I know, it was funny. They put it up right at the end, didn't they? And I was watching it with a... excuse me, I got a hiccup there. An avid Hawks supporter who I've actually managed to watch a few of the last few Sundays with. And obviously being a Saints supporter going down to them. And the one where they got against the Doggies and this week. And he thought they were going to win all day. And poor Rog from the Morty, So another beer gone down the gurgler for him. But... I
watched the last couple of minutes a couple of times, and the Hawks just didn't get a chance to even just slow down the play. They didn't let them.
Port were
exhilarating. Those last minute? Not even that last minute.
Yeah,
but like 2 goals just spun up out of nowhere. Fantastic. Yeah. And that is AFL. That is peak AFL entertainment right there. That was insane. If you tipped Port, you would be so fucking happy, and that's what I did. So.
Yeah.
The Hawks just showed they were one of the informed teams in May, didn't they? They almost got that win too.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is a 1-point win against Hawthorn. That's not really something a top team should be bragging about. So I do still think Port have fallen off. They're definitely not in the...
Yeah, a little bit. With their injuries, I mean, they're definitely not up where they were. I mean, that's obvious.
Well, yeah, Bell Pepper's not around until for the rest of the year, so that's a big hit. And just, a number of other things. But still, they were second on the ladder last year. They were ripping it up. And now they're getting some dubs on him. All right, well, with that, we shall move on to this week's tips.
Oh, I think you might have missed a game there, Nathan.
Oh, well, no, I haven't.
No, I haven't. The most important game of the round, the one where Harley Reid starred.
Who? That's not a real name.
It was the one over in the West on...
it's not a real name.
It was on Sunday night at I won't go into the same. It was Optus Stadium in Perth. West Coast just came out of the blocks and kicked 16-9 105 to Melbourne's 10-10-70. And didn't they rock up to the party, West Coast? Nathan, can we throw to you? No? So
I'm selling this bag of Redskins. $5,000, please. If you're interested, comment in the chat.
It might pay for his villa up at Mount Buller.
I'd love it.
I'd pay $5,000 if Harley Reid owned the packet.
Oh, wouldn't you love to have Harley Reid in your side? I mean,
we also have a YouTube comment on this game. It is West Coast versus D's was pretty one-sided. Top 2 Bombers, baby.
Ooh, slap down. I mean, D's, didn't they just do their finals credentials a bit of harm? You know when you look back at the end of the year, or maybe at the start of the year, and you do pencil and circle some games, that you go, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's our 10, 11, 12, we've got to make finals. West Coast was probably one of them. You know, even though it was a road trip, I just think you still had it penciled as one that we'll get. And if you do fall short of the 4 or the 8 by a game, and you look back, you probably look at this one. But I mean, hats off to West Coast in my eyes. I just think,
they're back.
you know, to the club, to the supporters, you know, they had a 3/4 filled stadium over there, which is a 60,000 stadium. So there's 40,000 there on a Sunday evening watching them win. You know, and I just thought that's payment to the supporters. The dedicated.
Probably seen Harley Reid kick goal of the year too.
Yeah, and just to that goal. I mean, I'm going to give a Steve Irwin to the great man himself, Harley Reid. I mean, he's actually a new favourite fan of the pod after the weekend.
Crikey.
I reckon he's been already a fan the whole year.
Nah, but I'm moving him up. I'm putting him
I've gone up.
If he wants to come on, I'd let him on. Would you let him on, Nathan? Nah? No, you're not liking him? So, you know, that's how instrumental he was. Melbourne supporters are not liking the kid, and, you know, geez, isn't it a turn back to the Jack Watts days, you know? Like, Melbourne supporters don't forget how hard it is for pick ones, and to see this kid come in and strive and push past Christian Petrarca, you know...
And Oliver.
You know, Jack Watts couldn't push past bloody...
A push pop.
Oh, and he had, 3 or 4 magpies hanging off him like a little squawker in the park with a bread roll, and he's sort of sitting out there going, help me, Daddy, I can't get these birds off me. You know, and here's Reid just out there like the eagle he is, just soaring, pushing those demons away, and he really mastered that show on the weekend, and it was a big result for West Coast,
and he had a couple of mates helping him out with Cully and Duggan as well.
Yeah, and Yo as well. I mean, at the moment they're just they're all over at West Coast. So
Waterman came back from concussion and kicked 5.
Oh, the G Train, how's he going? He's just one of my favourites up forward.
I've mentioned Waterman 5 weeks straight. I know he missed last week, but this guy last year also missed heaps of footy from, I think it was like a bowel disease too. Yeah, he's just coming out in the last 5 weeks. He's been dominating. Have we got an update of the Coleman medal list at all, guys?
Yes, we do. So I'm just going to give you the top 5 going in. So we've actually got
Before you do that, I'm just going to take back my Elliot Yo didn't play on the weekend. I've been hearing that he's been rumoured to be getting linked to an Adelaide move. Actually, was why he's in my mind. I mean, I know he consistently plays well when he's in, but didn't play, so I do take back my well-played Elliot Yo comment.
You're just used to him being there.
Yeah, but he also heard during the week he's been linked to a move to Adelaide, so don't watch that space.
Yep, so I'm actually going to do the top 4 for the Coleman, not the top 5, because the top 4 are all tied, standing 4 goals above the next place. It's Ben King from Gold Coast, Charlie Curnow from Carlton, Jesse Hogan from GWS, and Jake Waterman from West Coast, all on 29 goals apiece.
Well, is that the leaderboard?
Wow. That is the top 4.
Wow, they're all equal.
And then down from that, Kyle Langford from Essendon and Bailey Fritz from Melbourne on 25, so 4 goals below the tie first. Fucking
bit bit of a different looking list compared to normal, isn't it?
And still got Kerno in there.
For the year.
Still got Kerno in there.
I'm going to have a quick look. I'm going to dare say that Waterman to win the Coleman, I mean, right now he's paying $6. Okay, I thought he might have been a lot more, but geez, he's right in there, and he's going to get a lot of shots at goal for the rest of the year. I mean, West Coast, whether they're winning and losing a lot of games for the rest of the year or been in some, if he looks like a bull up forward, doesn't he?
It's pretty crazy how well he's doing considering Oscar Allen's been out of the side too. So there you go.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why he's got the opportunity, and he ain't going anywhere. So yeah, one to watch.
That's awesome how close the comp is for the Coleman there. Just your thoughts on Melbourne and any players too, Bruce. What are your thoughts, mate?
Fucking shit.
Well, run line in the sand for the rest of the year. Done. Saints have them this year. Easy beat this week.
Seriously, this is very disappointing. This was meant to put us third on the ladder. Yeah, third on the ladder. An easy layup win it should have been against West Coast, a team that's been struggling for years, that has, dare I say, possibly been tanking for a bit. And
just to get Harley Reid.
All of a sudden they're like, alright, we got Harley Reid. Well, we want to keep him, so we want to show him that we're not a totally useless side, so let's just topple Melbourne, yeah? You've
won more premierships on that ground than the home side.
I don't like that stat. Ryan.
You've actually won more games on that ground than the home side in the last 3 years.
It's not a fun.
So the D's could have been. The D's could have been.
You've won six. You've won your last 6 in a row there, and the home side just won their 6th game on the weekend. So you're now equal with them on games there in the last 3 years.
Oh,
so you could have been finished 3rd, but now you're sitting 7th on the ladder. Interesting.
Yeah. Against the side we should have beaten them. The fact that we didn't is very disheartening and makes me just doubt Melbourne's finals chances.
How'd Gawn go? We normally give him a good rap.
He didn't have his biggest game, and I didn't want to give him a shout out.
Not giving any of my guys a shout out. They can all go fuck themselves.
Maxie definitely tried all day, but he got pretty well beaten in the end, I dare say, by the young fella from West Coast.
They got beaten. Like 35 points, 36 points is my line, so it wasn't a smacking, but boy was it close.
It wasn't a smacking, just
under the line.
He had 20 touches, but only 28 hit-outs.
Yeah, he had the 28 hit-outs, but the young fella from West Coast, is it Brodie Williams? I think it is, the ruckman. Williams. He had 24 hit-outs as well on the day, and he had 8 touches as well, but he really put up a good showing against Maxi and proved to be a really good presence, and he's coming along a good way, and Harrison Petty chops in a bit for Maxi as well, and but he really went all the way, Williams, all day, and sort of solo rucked for West Coast, and he really put in the big performance. So.
How's Norman Senior handling it after that one, mate?
I haven't spoken to him yet. He's still angry.
Yeah, it's very quiet. I went to the toilet just before when we had an interval, and
you could hear the shouting.
No, it was very quiet in the house.
That's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, I imagine it's been a quiet week of just no one knows what to say.
He hasn't gotten around to watching AFL 360 tonight, and once he does, he'll start getting loud. All right, don't you worry.
D's will fire up for this week. Don't worry about that. Wouldn't want to be playing them. Who they got? Oh, the Saints. Huh?
We'll see. But,
the Saints will smash them this week. And
yep, they will.
It's probably all downhill sailing for here on in for the rest of the year.
D's season is over. I'm calling it now.
Is that your Wheels of Fortune?
Oh, you're going to put Melbourne in there first?
Not just yet. Not just yet. But no, alright, well, without that, let's move on to tipping results. So, big shake-up this week. So I just want to shout out to the person that got 8 out of 9 this week. The highest score in the tipping comp. My dear mother.
Wow.
Right, Joe?
Yeah, no, she's she did quite well this week. Got 8 out of 9. Shoved her way into the top 5, which I'm I'll read it out now. So, Jamie.
Back in the sandwich.
61. In number 5. And then, my mum. 61. Just a bit higher on margin. And then my dad. 61. Bit higher on margin. So, no, there is no sandwich.
Well, there's a sandwich building.
There's no sandwich.
There's a lot of your parents in the sandwich between
sandwich.
Jamie and myself being
Why are you
Brits.
talking about my parents like they're sandwiches? Stop it. Alright, and then coming in number 2 is Molian. And then number 1, the Doctor. So yeah, no, you've got a bit of a rivalry going on with the Molian.
I don't like to call myself great, but at the moment I am probably the greatest tipper in this competition. So
Yeah,
I
you're
will
gonna
use
fall
the word loosely.
Make sure you don't leave your phone at Bruce's house tonight.
I will attempt to keep my phone on me for the next 15 weeks of the season. So
I got it.
that will be your only tactic. I like it.
Yeah,
But there's another good week. Happy to get 7. Really felt upset when I was confident, almost tipped the Hawks, and watching the game, I was sitting there kicking myself, going, because it wasn't worth the risk of losing the tip of the obvious one, but I really rated their chances. And, down the stretch, geez, I was happy I got the tips after that one. But then, obviously, the Melbourne game letting me down with one. But
Melbourne game let everybody down.
Obviously, the big one for myself was the Giants versus the Doggies. And really thought the Giants would get it done. And the Doggies, kudos to them. I mean, what a performance. But can't get them all. As they say in Pokemon.
I just want to point out, you got to catch them all.
You got to catch them all.
That's what they say in Pokemon.
You've got to catch them all, mate.
No, so you can't. I thought it was...
You need to learn this shit. You're a dad, aren't you? God. Grow up. No.
Yeah.
All my son knows is the song to every single team's theme song.
Yeah.
He doesn't know Pokemon. I should teach him
You're doing
Pokemon.
good as a dad, then.
Well,
Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Look, he'll find whatever. All right. So of course, on this pod, Raby, number 1. Me, number 6. I fell out of favour with the footy gods, only getting a 5 because I jumped on the friend train too much.
You did.
St Kilda, Geelong, Melbourne, because my best friend is myself. All my friends let me down.
What about doggies?
I didn't tip doggies, so...
Oh.
You got on the wrong trains this week,
on the wrong
right?
trains.
Only the 2 people who tipped the dogs though this week. Rick, of course.
Of course, because he always does. And my mum.
You would have tipped Brisbane.
Should have tipped.
Did you tip Brisbane?
Did Paddy tip him?
Yeah, no, I tipped Brisbane.
Paddy's a tipping juggernaut. Where's Paddy on the tips? Can anyone give an update on young Paddy's
Oh, hang on.
position?
I'm just going down. So in number 7, one directly below me, is the big wheel himself. And that wheel just keeps turning.
So what is he in 7th?
But it's not turning over me, mate.
Is he 7th?
Yeah, he's 7th. He's one behind me. So,
I've been 7th nearly all year.
Yeah, no, look, you need to catch up. All
Tight
right.
in the field.
Hey,
It's tight in the field.
I normally start getting good in the second half of the year, boys, so be careful.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, 13th is the Man of Steel himself. Coming in at 13th.
Just trying to stay above Vossi Star and Paddy.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I'm
really trying to stay clear of that.
look, I am very happy with how consistent Paddy has been with the tips. It has been very good. But still, it doesn't matter if he puts them in or not.
He's still shit.
Exactly. It's Thursday night football at Marvel Stadium. The Doggies versus the Swans.
Oh, wow.
Rabes.
This round of tips is going to be real defining in the season, I reckon, because, geez, there's some games that are tough. The Dogs, I mean, aren't they on a form line? I mean, came out of nowhere a bit. The coach was copping a bit after the Hawthorn loss, and then they've been out, had 2 wins. I know one was against Richmond, but to get the Giants on the weekend, and before the Hawthorn loss, it was good form again against the Saints. Yeah, I can't stop tipping Sydney. I'm on the train. I've got a row in row 1A.
That's front carriage.
I've been on them all year. Tipped them for the flag. I love tipping them. They keep saluting for me. But, you just feel like this is one where the Dogs could get them. But, what a game to start it off. I'll go Sydney.
Yep. Wheels. Big wheel.
Yeah, doesn't this one remind you of the good old 2016 Grand Final?
What a rematch.
Wow. Yeah, like Reeb said, Dogs have found the form and the Swannies are on fire. The Swans have only lost one game, so...
They keep copping the big teams too, Sydney, I must admit. I give them credit for where they're at this year, because they've played a lot of the big sides. You know, they played the Greater Western Sydney clash was a big one. They came up against the Cats. They've played just all the big... Collingwood early in the year. They've obviously played against Essendon, and they've just sort of...
They're showing they're definitely one to watch.
Yeah, they've really beaten all the top teams to be where they're at, which... But, so...
Yeah. I'll tip Sydney, but I won't be surprised if the Dogs win, or it's one of those games Sydney just drops. But tipping Sydney, just the fact of just feel like... Yeah, I reckon Sydney will shut down the Doggies' speed. So,
yeah,
Swannies for me.
No, fair enough. Steelo, who you got?
I'll back the Swannies this week.
Yeah.
The Doggies have been known to produce some good footy down at home, and it should be a close game. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think Sydney will comfortably run over Doggies.
All of us.
But I do think Doggies, there is a chance. There's a chance.
I'm going to do the multi again this week for majority.
Yeah, we don't talk about betting on this show.
No, but I'm just going to note it down and put it in our all for three betting.
We don't talk about betting on this show. Alright, let's move on to Friday night football at Optus Stadium. It is Fremantle versus Collingwood. Reeby.
Well, again, giving Flagmantle a massive opportunity here. At home, after a pretty solid form line up to this point for the last month, with a good win under their belt, but obviously against probably one of the stiffest oppositions coming down in the game. But with a few injuries, I mean, DeGoey out now to go on top of their handful of just stars that are out for them from the back line last year, with Murphy out now permanently.
Is Mychek and Elliott going to be out as well?
Well, they're big question marks, so we probably don't know yet at the moment with Mychek. I think he was out for up to 2 to 3 weeks. So obviously not playing last week. But so Collingwood a little bit rocked stability-wise. But what's happened with Collingwood the last few weeks is... Excuse me, getting a case of the burps again.
Oh, excuse it.
They've lost a couple out of the midfield through losing sort of DeGoey through a rotation, and obviously when Dacos went out for a bit, and they've put in Pendlebury more into the mid with a couple of the other youngsters. Their names escaping me right now, but obviously at the moment their midfield is firing as well as it can fire. I heard Bucks talking about it last night, and he just said at the moment they've sort of been pushed into this change of their midfield, and he goes, when those guys come back, they're going to be able to play lesser roles, pushing through the half forwards into just doing a little bit of midfield time. He goes, their depth is phenomenal. So at the moment, Collingwood's midfield, even if they're missing one or two, I think they've almost got the Sydney depth that they're almost going to win anywhere.
Mitchell's been out too. Well.
Mitchell, yeah, it's probably the other one. So Bucks was all over it. He's just sitting there going, they've almost got stronger by changing their balance a bit. They've found a better combination. And at the moment, their midfield, even though they're down a couple, they're not missing a beat. And on the weekend, it was a prime example. And the weekend before against West Coast, who West Coast came over here with their handful of good mids. Collingwood dismantled them. Went on again in the weekend against Adelaide, who were building and were able to get on top in the end.
Yeah,
but Freo, I mean, geez, at home, it's a real good challenge again. And it's interesting to see Freo actually go in as favourite.
Oh, are they favourites?
They are favourite, $1.80 to $2. So good value, and I'm going to put my dollar on Collingwood.
Fair enough. Wheels.
Yeah, it's a tough one, like Reeby's saying. Oh man, this is tough. I'm going to tip Freo, but it's hard. But every time I tip Freo, they let me down. But
I think Sydney did it to them a few weeks ago, where they proved that Freo probably can't go with the big dogs, But Colling, they'll be aware of that challenge a few weeks ago, and they'll be better for the run.
The Optus Oval's the same size as the G.
Well, it was there when they played against Sydney only a few weeks ago, and Sydney hammered them. They just pushed them over.
Yeah, at this stage I'm going to tip Freo, but I might wait and see who the ins are out for the Pies.
Yeah, no, fair. Steel.
Oh, I have to back the Pies in this week. It's going to be
$2.
a close game like the last one, probably within a few goals, I reckon. But if Freo get it done, good on them, but it might just be a bit too big of an ask.
Yeah, no, well, look, you mentioned that Freo are the favourites. Freo are the betting favourites. It seems like
They are.
they're not the actual favourites in the tipping app, though.
What's the percentage on the tipping app?
70% to 30%.
Yeah, right. Wow.
That's insane. So, I reckon
Does that mean there's more?
I reckon you top up the
supporters
sports
tipping?
bet group so we can get some multis going on this game early.
Does that just mean there's heaps of Collingwood supporters tipping?
No, but Collingwood aren't favourites. That's just in tipping.
In tipping, it's like they're not putting their money where their mouth is.
We're getting up to some warm weather this week, Collingwood.
Yeah, but
It's across to Freo. I mean, it's not really that warm over there at these.
It's up a bit. It's up. You're going up.
Dead west.
Yeah, you're going west, but you're going like upper west.
No.
There's a slight incline.
I'm down here on the peninsula.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we'll move on to the next game.
What about Steelo? Oh, did Steelo pick Collingwood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow in Perth, it is going to be 26.
Cool.
And then it's going to be 26 on Wednesday and 27 and 24.
What about at night? What about at night time?
Oh, low of 13, 12, 12, 13, 14. So, yeah, very Gold Coast-like, actually.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's move on. It is Carlton versus Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium. Maybe, who you got?
Well, again, I mean, what a tipster's nightmare. I mean, Gold Coast coming in with the 2 wins from Darwin, but you just feel like the travel down to Melbourne, as I've stated all year, will be their nemesis. But Carlton, I mean, they're ready for a stumble, aren't they? I mean, they've been playing so hard, so well all year.
That's what everybody's saying.
And Gold Coast midfield is going to push them. I mean, you just love to think that Carlton are going to get it all lined up, line the stars up here.
But hey, they stumbled last week.
So they're hard to tip with confidence, Carlton. But, I mean, they have to win this, don't they? I'm tipping them. I give them all the faith. Can we get odds?
Yeah, $1.40 for Carlton, $2.95 for Gold Coast.
Yeah, so it's a heavy favour. I mean, they should win at home. But again, you give the Suns just a nice little chance, don't you? But I'll tip Carlton.
Yeah, big wheel.
Yeah, pretty similar reads. I just don't think the Suns travel well.
Until they do it.
Yeah, and I think the conditions will be perfect at Marvel, so that won't really matter if it's in Melbourne or not. But I feel like the Blues will play that ground better. So, and I think they might struggle to, stop the 2 towers of the Blues. So, I'm going to go the Blue Baggers.
I'll tell you what, though, what a contest, because both sides, they're quite evenly matched at the moment on where they're at the ladder. And I really feel like the loser of this match, coming in 8th and 10th on the ladder, they're just going to find it. It's that big bunch on 24 that are hanging around. So GWS down to Carlton from 6th to 10th.
Oh, D's a tie with 10th.
Yeah, and so you guys are in that mob. You got Gold Coast in the middle with Freo, Carlton and Giants. I mean, they're all fighting for 7th and 8th, aren't they? Those sort of handful of mobs. And wow, what a big game. It's almost an 8-pointer.
Yeah, Steelo, who you got?
I'll back the Blue Towers. I reckon they'll get it done down there.
Yeah, well, you're back in the Blue Towers. I reckon a couple of planes are going to fly into that tower this week.
They got to get...
And Gold Coast.
They got to get the bloody Kerno back up forward, don't they? I mean, last week they pushed him back a bit. Like Hawthorn, late in the quarter, giving up on the quarter, just trying to play dead time sort of footy. Just commit and kick 20 goals. I don't see what's wrong with that model. And to win the granny, you've really got to be that team. Look at Geelong 2 years ago. kicked 20 goals. Look at Collingwood last year, kicked 18 goals or something.
Yeah.
You gotta play a brand of footy where you're scoring heavily almost every quarter. Because if you relax and only kick 0 or 1 to 2 goals in a quarter, you're probably going to lose the big games. So I really feel like Carlton, this week, keep Curnow forward, play him high forward, whatever, but none of this putting him back into the thing late in the quarter and that. Kick 2 more goals. 1 minute to go, we're going to kick 2 goals here.
Go for it.
I want to see that change from Carlton. I mean, they were playing aggressive, good footy, and they've almost just inched back a bit into this mould of thinking that we're going to do all this, professional movements. No, just play relentless, aggressive, attacking footy for 4 hard quarters and kick 20 goals. Should just be a club motto for all teams.
Just go attacking full time. You reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's counters why you can't, but let's see some of it from Carlton. I think it's time. They've, you just got to sort of turn the notch occasionally, don't you, Wheels?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Wow,
Go for
you
it.
really love talking about Carlton. All right, well, let's get back to it. I'm gonna tip Carlton.
Go Carlton.
Was gonna say Gold Coast, but Raby, you just talked about Carlton so goddamn much. I was like, I'm gonna change my tip to Carlton.
Hey, Vossi will be seething in there this week.
Yep, no, fair enough. Well, let's move on to the next game, shall we? Geelong versus GWS at GMHBA.
You missed one.
I missed one.
North and Port.
Nathan.
Oh, okay. Yep, they were swapped around in different apps. I'm flying between the AFL app and the tipping app. And
I get what he was doing.
Anyway.
Port.
Well, no, Port and North are on the same time, and they were different orders on 2 different apps. Anyway,
Port.
North Melbourne versus Port Adelaide at Bluntstone Arena. Raby.
Well, it's actually one
You
that
already answered it very quickly.
I did, but I mean, North, I think they're due for one in the next month. So, looking across their games for the next handful of weeks...
I feel like you're talking about this game too much as it is.
No, but I'm just... North, I mean, I don't think it's this one. I just feel like it'll probably come more in the next handful of weeks when they've got a bye the following week. Then they've got West Coast in West Coast. Then they've got Collingwood. Okay, that's tough. And Melbourne.
Every game's tough for them.
So this one, technically, Port in Tassie, after playing well against Essendon for 2 quarters, can they play 3 quarters and potentially quell them down to not play well for a couple of quarters?
Is Rosie going to be back?
Don't think so.
Not yet, I don't know.
One more week?
I don't know, but I don't think so. Anyway, Wheels.
Yeah, I reckon this is going to be a flogging at least, and Port should win by at least 39.5.
Yeah, Steelo.
It's going to go off like a hornet in a glass bottle, and watch out for the man, the hornet. It's the whole club.
Yeah, look. Port's going to smash... They're just going to smash North. And I don't know why you talk so long about it, goddamn.
Well, it's down in Tassie and North...
No, it's not an invitation to continue to talk about it. Next game. Geelong versus GWS at the GMHBA Stadium.
Tips
is Geelong versus GWS. Reeb, so you go for this one.
Oh, shit.
He's frozen.
It's such a tip.
He's in contemplation. he has no idea.
Can I go for a Fenno fun fact of my own?
Go for it. No, but isn't it a Reeby's Relic rerun or something?
Okay, right.
Random.
Yeah, well, it's one of those. It's an RRR. When's the last time Geelong played off in a game against another team, both teams coming in with 3 losses? But you both fancied for the grand final.
Oh, I wouldn't say grand final.
Well, within the last few weeks, both teams have been hot property.
They were hot.
Best team in the comp.
Not now.
We're talking best team in the competition.
Not
Coming
now.
in off 3 losses in a row, both teams.
That is sad.
So where's the form line on this game? I'm confused. I mean, I don't even see how this has happened.
You'd hope someone's a winner.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you've both been the top 2 teams of the comp for the start of the year, minus Sydney, but just on form, red hot, talk, attributes, coaches, everything.
Yeah, but you got to look at now. You got to look at the last few games they've played and who their losses were about. 6 losses between them. We got Suns, Port, D's, Sydney, Essendon, Doggies.
So they're all solid sides, so it does make sense. No, look, it's
I guess
still been a great start to the year from both clubs, and the Giants got beat by Sydney at the first one, I think it was for them, and Geelong obviously ran into a few sides that were pretty ready to play footy.
D's cleaned them up, Port cleaned them up, and Suns really cleaned them up.
So it's tough to get a form for this game, isn't it? It's just so hard. But I mean, down at Geelong. But I recall last year, I reckon you beat them by a goal late in the game. They got you by a goal. Yeah, it was a close one, a point it was.
Happy then.
7 points.
7 points it was. And so they've got the form down there to say that they're going to play good footy. And it's at the moment, I'm a bit more concerned with Geelong's form. The Giants, I think they've just been rocked by a few changes. The Geelong... they're just all of a sudden they look inexperienced when you take a handful out. I know they're getting Danger back. Are we getting Danger back?
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I don't think it's official.
Not sure yet. So I'm going to go Giants, and I feel like they're going to rock down there with a tsunami through Port Phillip Bay and head in west and rock the Tassie boat, push it over, head in and swarm the ground.
Like that. All right, Wheels, who you got?
I'm just going off what history tells me, and in the last 3 years...
This is a fun fact?
Just the history, mate. This isn't a fun fact.
He's nervous. He's nervous. He doesn't want to bring trash up to us.
In 21, Giants beat the Cats down there by 19 points. In the same year, the Cats beat the Giants over there by 35 points. The following year, the Cats beat the Giants at home... in the Giants by 53 points, and then last year the Giants beat the Cats by 7 points. So it's actually flipped around every game.
Which tells us...
the order is Cats this week, yeah?
And then if I go off that, I'm tipping the Giants, because that's at Geelong. So my tip's going the Giants, but if the Cats get all their players back, Hawkins, Cameron, Duncan, Degoni, Danger, Reece Stanley, I'll be tipping the Cats. So, but at this stage, I'm tipping the Giants.
No, fair enough. Steelo, who you got?
Oh, I'm doubling down with Fenno there, I reckon. He sounds like a smart man.
Cats footy.
Knows his team well, and I'll be watching the team sheet. But we'll go to the Giants.
Oh,
good man, Steelo, good man.
Right, Fenno tipped the Giants.
In a way, I'm getting on the French train with
when he said I'm with Fenno, I got all excited.
Got all your...
Go the Giants!
I'm with Fenno's heart and soul. He's fucking abandoned it.
So he's Geelong.
He's going off in a totally other fucking direction. I'm here with his heart and soul being like, I can't believe, what the fuck. And I'm on the friend train, riding alone, with this heart and this soul in my hand, and rubbing them together like coconuts. And, fuck yous all.
So you tip Geelong?
Yeah, I'm going Geelong.
Go Giants.
Wow.
I got more faith in your team than you do, punk.
Absolutely.
You got the posters in the background and everything.
I mean, Kelly's out for the Giants.
I've seen enough.
Yeah, no, well, hey, look, maybe I'm going out all in, but Geelong at home. GWS been falling short. Anyway,
remember, so the last 2 times the Giants have been there, they've won.
Well,
Geelong are due. Geelong are due. Fuck, I think I'm going to change to Geelong too, actually.
Don't you dare, I need to catch up on you.
What's the odds for that game? What are the odds?
Oh, mate, I don't look at the odds.
I'll tell you.
Raby?
It is Geelong.
84% to Geelong, 16% GWS. Geelong $1.53, GWS $2.50.
Oh, decent.
So Geelong are handily the favourites.
I just want to correct something I said as well. Fenno doesn't just sound like a smart man, he is a smart man.
He is.
Objection!
This new tech person's going good.
Objection! He's handsome, and we know what that means.
I feel like we need to throw to him with a few more tech issues.
I like this tech guy. This tech guy's really good.
He'll be like, can you tell us the last 10 results between Geelong and the Giants, please?
Yeah, and then what do we sit here awkwardly silent while we wait for him to pull things up?
No, he just comes back to us with it while we carry on.
Okay, well, we're carrying on. Yeah. We're carrying on. Anyway, let's carry on to the next game. It is Richmond versus Essendon at the MCG. Why are we talking about this one, Reeves? Please don't talk too long about this one.
So we have the dream time at the G, and honestly, it is one of the big games of the year. I mean, think of the years when Essendon just got flogged year in, year out by Richmond, because Richmond were in a dynasty.
Yeah.
And I feel like Essendon will have brought that up and sat there this week and been like, let's make a point of absolutely smashing them. Because they owe it. And we owe them. And we don't get to ground and pound people and make fun of them these days in modern day times because of political correctness and shit. No. But we get to get out there and humiliate them in front of everyone, and then we will get to get up and shake hands and walk off the ground like nothing happened. So they should take advantage of that opportunity and embarrass them. But I did say last week that Essendon were going to do that to North Melbourne, and they didn't. They did literally
40 points. That's smashing in my books.
And I called 39.5 of the equity of my...
Exactly.
But...
That's your line, so it's a smashing.
So I'm saying, so they just... But...
That's just a smashing.
By 1 point, like...
Just a smashing.
A 1 point smashing. Like, that's not a...
It was just a smashing. Like, just.
So this week, now that you've got the other shittest team in the competition... Let's really ground and pound them, you know, like...
Yeah, come on, Essendon, it's time. Give your supporters what they want.
I'm going to get on the line this week for
Blood
Essendon.
in the water.
Yeah, I think it's time. But for Richmond's sake, I mean, aren't they going to want to turn around and show... but they don't have to...
Oh, they always want to. They always want to.
Yeah,
and they did do it against Sydney, so, you know, they've only gotten one win this year, and it's against the top side, so...
The line's 44.5.
Will... Big Wheel, what do you got?
I'm glad Reeby kept rambling long enough because it gave me time to go to the toilet, so that was good.
And have a sleep. Did you have a snooze?
Yeah, this guy loves talking. Made for podcasts. Second best in the world.
Camera. Loves the camera, this guy.
I just don't want to go home.
Yeah, I'd say the tables have turned.
Well, you don't have to go home. You can't stay here.
I'd say the tables have turned for these two clubs, and the Dons should get the W. Tipping the Dons. Essendon.
That's it. Steeler.
I reckon Feno's right again. The technique tables might have turned, and we'll back the Dons in.
Did we catch you with a mouthful there?
Of course, Essendon. Of course.
Oh, sorry, I think my mic was off. I think the technique tables have turned, and we'll back in the Dons.
Yeah, well, there we go. Well, of course, I'm going Essendon, of course. Fuck Richmond. Alright, next game at Marvel Stadium, Sunday footy. It was Hawthorn versus the Lions. Raby, who you got?
Well, geez, Hawthorn are going to come back to the Dome and give them a bit of effort. Brizzy traditionally don't travel over here that well, but I just see Brizzy getting their game going now, and I think it doesn't matter where they play, and the good conditions of Marvel, I think Brizzy are going to probably kick close to the 20 goals. And I don't think Hawks will be able to keep up with that. So they'll probably get them by, I'm going to say 26 points in the end. I was going to say 36, but a nice 26-point win to Brizzy here.
Yeah, could happen. Will?
Yeah, my tip's going towards the wonderful tech guy you got now. So.
Oh,
there we go.
He's got a top for every Guernsey.
He's got a Guernsey for every top.
He's got a Guernsey for every team.
Brizzy are back. Brizzy are back. Tipping Brizzy.
Zing zing.
Steelo, should I ask you who you're going for? Is it obvious?
Yeah, I'll definitely be down there and cheering on the lads. So hopefully, see us get a big win.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm on the Fred train this week. Fred train. Boop boop. Boop boop. Boop boop. Thank you. All right. Well, with that, we'll move on to the next game. It's a rivalry game at the MCG. The rivalry's between me and you, Mr. Daniel Reid.
Put up a wall between us.
Oh, I'll tear down that wall, Mr. Gorbachev. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look at the line in the sand.
It was Melbourne versus Richmond.
Beanie versus Beanie. I mean,
At the MCG. And Reeby, you're not stupid enough to tip St Kilda, are you?
this is going to be a big player for me in this round of tips because obviously I always have a motto that you only do well in tips when your team does well. But I broke that weeks ago.
But you're doing well and your team's doing shit.
But I don't like tipping Melbourne. Patrick Reeby, of one of our famous listeners out there, will verify for this that he goes, "You just don't like Melbourne, do you?" And
He's a punk. You don't like Melbourne. You don't like me.
but I've always called them our line in the sand team,
Yeah,
so
well.
it's a thing.
That is deep anti-Melbourne bias within the whole footy community. And now I know where it's
No.
coming from.
Oh wait, what time's it on? We should go.
Yeah, no. Well, we should watch it at least. So afternoon.
We should go.
I'm not going
Why not?
because I don't have to get home.
Then you have to get home.
I don't have to get home. It's late on Sunday night.
Is it because you're scared of getting home?
Hey, look, we'll talk about it off the air.
Because if you don't
We'll talk about it
drink,
off the air, alright?
do you know if you don't drink, you're a boring person, and all your stories end with, "And then I went home."
Imagine
Yeah.
how fun the train ride would be, Nathan, if you got the W, mate.
Catch an Uber? You kidding me?
So we'll discuss going after the
Yeah, we'll do
show.
that after the
We'll definitely let you know next week if we pop into the Royal.
See what
But
happens. That's not happening.
the tip. I mean, the tip is just.
Yeah, you got to go Melbourne. You just have to.
I mean, if we go, I'll tip St Kilda.
Okay, all right. But if not, Melbourne. Good choice.
That could be a way for you to get one up on me in tips this year.
Yeah, could be.
Because I will tip St Kilda if we go.
Yeah, but this. Yeah, anyway.
Because I want to be that one-eyed supporter who's there, and if we win, I'm like giving you stick. But if
Yeah,
we
you
lose, I'll just disappear and go home without. Like, I'll just.
You're just gonna ditch me.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what you do if your team loses.
We want to see some pictures of you guys at the game. Come on, guys.
Right, we'll be there.
All right, Big Wheel. Who you got?
Yeah, it's actually quite a tricky one because, both sides have lost against sides both 2 weeks in a row that all sides are in the bottom of the 8. So, tricky. I'm going to tip the team for the guy that's sitting on the left, the D's.
Oh, I'm on the left.
He's technically
Wait,
on
your
the
left?
No, it's his left. He's talking about his left.
Oh, he's left.
Go D's. All right, Steelo, who you got?
We'll go with D's now, I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, Reeby, do you like D's?
Not much.
D's nuts. Yeah, go.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
got
one.
him. I got him. Everybody,
Good one. That's a good one.
go D's. All right. Last game of the round.
If they lose.
Adelaide versus the West Coast Eagles at Adelaide Oval. Reeby, who you got?
He's going West Coast.
Could go either way, I reckon.
So I've got it.
His theory matches up to West Coast.
Well, I haven't got it. I haven't put it on yet this year because it hasn't got up yet this year. And now it makes me wonder. So far, there's been
So
two
we'll
of the
fit them
4
on.
battles. This is the 3rd one. There's still one to come.
You're ranking playing.
Adelaide at home, though. I mean, you can't overlook them. But West Coast obviously going to have their tail up.
Up and about.
I'm going to give it to Adelaide, and I'm going to give it to Adelaide by a goal. I think West Coast will play well. I just think Adelaide will just get over the line here, and they should get the bickies. They due a win to Adelaide. I mean, they've been playing well this year without getting much reward. West Coast have to travel, and that's it.
Yeah, well, fair.
Very professional tip.
Wheel, what do you got?
What a battle out of these two clubs you got.
Isn't it? I'm going to watch
One
this
club-
one. I like it.
Yeah, one
We'll be in the game.
club that started in the late 80s and one started in the early 90s. So they've been both pretty awesome, haven't they? Yes, I'm just going to tip the Crow Baggers at home. I feel like the Eagles might drop a bit of form on this from this.
You know
game
what this
on.
game could be? This could be a quarter.
Could be.
It really could be. I mean, it's going to be close all day. You feel like it will be. And with a few lead changes, yeah, it could genuinely be a quarter.
Yeah. So did you give who you going, Wheels?
Crow Baggers.
Crow Baggers. Steelo, who you got?
Same. We'll go with the Crows.
Yeah. And that's it for all of us. Crows. I really do. I think Crows at home. I think that's what it's all about. And West Coast, yeah, they've gotten some wins and they had some good performances, but they're still not there yet.
Not yet. But it was a great win last week, wasn't it, Nathan? Who'd they play again?
Anyway, I don't think Adelaide will... Yeah, I don't think Adelaide's that bad, but I can totally see Adelaide losing and dropping the ball. Totally see it.
So you're saying West Coast are that good?
No, I'm just saying Adelaide aren't that good. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to closing thoughts. Mr. Daniel Reedy.
Closing thoughts already.
Yeah.
You always catch me on the hop.
I
I was just preparing for another game, and then
you know it was the last game.
Never sees it coming.
Oh, no,
He's just fucking blind.
Man, I was like next game, like thinking I was like ready to rattle one off.
Games are done. Games are done.
Well,
We're at the end.
All I can think about is
we need 10 games in the comp, not 9.
We do. You know what? When they add Tassie and potentially the NT, we're going to have 20 teams, and you could have a 19-round season with a couple of buys over 24 weeks, and we're going to have
episodes will go for over 2 hours.
One game versus every team pretty soon if we have 20 teams in. But oh man, where am I at? I mean, the next few weeks we got the Winter Cup starting up at Rossdale, and I mean the phenomenal team of Cartwright and Reeby are going to team up for the first time in Winter Cup history at Rossdale. And what a team we're going to be, because there's been plenty of work put into this moment, and it's taken us 5 years to actually pair up for this comp. And here we are. So that'll all kick off next week. This week, myself, Jack, Darren and Z will be a group on Saturday.
Yeah.
All the newbies playing with myself. And yeah, so I'm just probably going to have to roll down there in the single-seater again and just show them how it's done, and then drive home. And yeah, but so the next few weeks at Rossdale, it is a monthly medal this Saturday too, and it'll be a hot comp, so all the big dogs will be out there, all the lead players, and yeah, we'll report back next week with how the competition went.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, Big Wheel, what you got?
Yeah, I've got the normal Friday night Oz Kick Extra at Currumbin Lions
with Big Hick.
And the actual seniors got their first loss on the weekend.
Oh.
Surfers Paradise Demons. They lost by 1 point. So
You said the Demons were 4th on the ladder.
4th, yeah.
Yeah, so they were obviously doing well. Good game.
Yeah, good game, mate. Good game. Zach Smith dominated in the ruck for the Demons, so that was cool.
Good game then.
Yeah, the boys weren't happy, but they got Shearwood at home on the Saturday, so I might go down and just see how they're tracking. And then after that game, the Cats should play the Giants. So all footy for me Saturday. Sunday's swimming like always. And just for the listeners out there and everyone involved, get involved with the Wheels of Fortune, guys. Get your answers in, get it all happening.
Absolutely.
And hope it's your team that gets the W this week too, guys. Thank you.
And go Cats.
Thank you. Go Cats.
Cats.
All right, Silo, you got some closing thoughts?
Electric stovetops suck.
Oh, don't they?
They really do.
They're alright.
Let's have the end of gas.
Alright, well, my closing thoughts. Redskins, $5,000. Please leave a comment in the thing if you're interested to buy $5,000. Redskins.
Will you take 4,000?
I will not take 4,000.
I'll give you 4,000 right now.
At least. I will take more than $5,000. But $5,000 is all you need.
So not 4?
Not 4.
Can I do
$5,000.
$3? Can I start the bid at $3?
No, there is no bid.
I just did
It's a hard
4,000.
price. $5,000. Leave a comment. Leave a comment in the replies. We'll work something out.
4,500.
All right, that's it from us at All for Footy, and we're out.
See you later.